Friday night football, live from the MCG, North Melbourne versus Fitzroy.
And a very good evening, everyone, from the Melbourne Cricket Ground, and welcome to the commencement of Round 7, North Melbourne versus Fitzroy, the first Friday night match we've had in the AFL this year at the MCG. And of course, the MCG very much in the news at this stage because of the new stand over in the southern area. And as you can see, they're proceeding very much on schedule. It is going up amazingly fast. But because of that construction tonight, there is one unusual thing here, and that is that one light tower is not operating. It is because of the construction, but it doesn't seem to have made too much difference out there on the surface of the MCG. Not like the old South Melbourne ground where we had dark pockets in many corners of the ground. The lighting here, of course, is absolutely magnificent, and the players won't find any difficulty out there at all tonight. North Melbourne, of course, big winners over the Sydney Swans in a very high-scoring game here at the G last week. And of course, they're out to do well tonight, and so too Fitzroy. We all remember what happened down at North Hobart last week. They were absolutely thrashed by Hawthorn, who kicked the third highest score ever in the AFL. Fitzroy annihilated by 157 points. Subsequently, they made 9 changes at the selection table last night. Let's check the record of these two sides since hostilities commenced between them in the AFL and VFL. They've played 118 times. North Melbourne has won 58, and they've lost 59, and one match has been drawn. So indeed, on that score at least, they are pretty even. And Fitzroy looking for better things tonight than happened last Sunday at North Hobart Oval, as the players now come out to break the banner. That's the North Melbourne squad. Fitzroy, of course, already out there. Very good evening to Bernie Quinlan and Dennis Committee.
Yes, good evening, Pete.
Good evening, Pete.
And Bernie, I think it's fair to say pride is on the line as far as Fitzroy are concerned tonight. Big night for them.
Yes, especially on Sunday with the fundraiser. They need to, of course, raise 800,000 by the end of June. So they need to do something on the field, Dennis, and that's where they're letting themselves and their supporters down at the moment.
Well, it starts tonight, checking the two sides from North's back line. Darren Wheeldon, probably their best forward against Hawthorn. They'll need him firing tonight.
Halfback Wainee and Fairley lining up at centre halfback for North Melbourne against David O'Connell, the former West Coast Eagles player.
Across the centre line, virtually no experience on the wings for Fitzroy.
A half-forward line, Carey, who's been going okay, but not really playing up to his full potential against Paul Roos. I doubt if Roos will play, they'll probably line up at centre half-forward.
John Longmire, just 12 goals so far this season. He'll be a danger man tonight.
And into the rucks, we've got John Ironmonger. He's replaced Matt Mandel, who's been dropped from the side against Gallagher. Matty Larkin, a top ruck rover. McGrath in for his first game.
Some experience on the bench, Brayshaw and Allison, Dundas and Broderick.
Well, thank you, gentlemen, and as to be expected, not really a huge crowd at the MCG tonight. In fact, I would venture to say it's one of the smallest I've seen at this ground for a VFL or AFL match, probably around about the 5,000 or 6,000 mark at the moment. North Melbourne and Fitzroy, the first match of round 7, and we'll be back with the first quarter after this.
G'day, I'm John McCarthy from the North Melbourne Football Club. I play half-forward flank for us. For all your footy action, stick to Channel 7.
back to the MCG. Players completing their warm-ups. Virtually no wind tonight, but to check the weather in detail, it's a very good evening to Gerard Healy with the Mitsubishi Motors ground report.
Thanks, Peter. Well, Melbourne's turned on perfect conditions for the game tonight, although it's getting a little chilly down on the boundary. Looking at the Mitsubishi Motors weatherometer, we have a current temperature of just over 11 degrees, with an expected overnight low of only a chilly 6 degrees Celsius. Humidity is currently 40%, and there's a gentle breeze blowing, but no goal advantage. The ground's in good condition, but will get slippery, and the forecast is for a cold but fine night.
I hope you've brought a coat with you, Gerard. North Melbourne, I guess, gentlemen, would be very, very warm favourites here. I'm supposed to ask for your selections. Need we do it?
Not really, I don't think. Although their form up until Anzac Day was pretty disappointing. They'd taken a few wallopings as well, but after half-time in that game against the Sydney Swans, they came back. So they must start warm favourites tonight.
Yes, same with me too, Dennis. There's no doubt about it. Fitzroy looked very ordinary last week in Hobart. They've made a lot of changes.
Nine.
Nine, yes, 9
That'd
changes.
be a record, Bernie, wouldn't it? 9 changes.
Oh, I would think so, Pete. In fact, 10 of their players have played 20 games or less, so a very inexperienced side lining up for Fitzroy.
Yes, it's pretty hard to see Fitzroy getting up, although funnier things have happened. But North Melbourne seemed to wait until about round 6 to really get moving. It happened last year, and maybe the same is going to happen in 1991. Certainly we would like to see a contest tonight, unlike we had last Sunday at the North Hobart Oval. I mean, Hawthorn very nearly took away from Fitzroy the honour of having kicked the highest ever score in the competition. Wayne Schimmelbusch, North Melbourne coach, John Dugdale on his left and right of screen. Pretty good side North Melbourne's got in tonight. And what a job that man has. Robert Shaw, the coach of Fitzroy. Umpires tonight are David Howlett on screen and Mike Viney. Fitzroy captain, we saw Richard Osborne. And the first quarter from round 7, North Melbourne and Fitzroy from the MCG. Certainly conditions cool. A fresh air shot by Gallagher. Ironmonger came in pretty solidly. McGrath might have given away the first free kick of the night, and in fact he has done. It will be taken by Anthony Rock. Rock from just short of centre field. Schwass late on the scene from Elliott. Now it comes back to Noble, who played his first game at the North Hobart ground last week. The club in which from which he came. The umpires found a free kick, and again it's going to North Melbourne, and again it's going to Rock. So take 2. This time he's just a little bit wider. Tries to pick out Schwass, and picked up by Elliott, and the mark taken by Ross Lyon at left centre wing. One of the more experienced players in the Lions lineup. Kicks down to half forward, and that's a good mark. Taken by Wielden, certainly the most experienced forward.
Well, very lively performer too, Wielden, and good to see him in the side. A bit of a fiery temperament. Likes to have a bit of a dip, this man.
Well, a goal here would give them a great deal of confidence if in fact he can put it through. He's about 45 metres out, so distance shouldn't be a problem. He might have hooked it a little bit, and in fact he has. Umpire Roger Selwood indicating only 1 behind to Fitzroy. That's the opening score early in the opening term.
Allison, members side with a kick. Staritsky. This is Martin. Now Gallagher down towards half forward, in front Roos.
Well, this is a surprise, Dennis. He was named at centre-half back. I thought he would have lined up at centre-half forward, Paul Roos, but his form hasn't been all that good. I still think he was their best option on the forward line, but he is lining up at centre-half back.
Lakey goes off the ground. Larkin. Spargo. Nicely done. Schwass, a runner outside, gives it to Rock, forward of centre wing. Down towards the pocket, he goes with a kick. Longmire flicks it behind the pack. Roos over the ball, slaps it out. Wind falls as he kicks. Spargo inside the 50. Paul Spargo has done very well in recent times. Longmire comes on the lead. That's ignored. Spargo will kick from right on the 50. Off to the right, and it's a minor score. Behind the piece there at the start of this game here at the MCG, beginning of round 7.
The other changes, Dennis, Richard Osborne has lined up at full forward after being named on the half-forward flank, and Wielden is playing at centre-half forward.
Lynch, members side with the kick. Ironmonger got a hand on it. Elliott knocked it forward. Board to Wind. High floating kick down towards centre wing.
Just about over the boundary line, and in fact it is over the boundary line. Blakey takes it over. Again, one of the more experienced players in Fitzroy's lineup. And as Bernie pointed out earlier, there aren't too many. So boundary throw it on centre wing. Over the top was O'Connell, former West Coast Eagle. McGrath almost gave away his second free kick for the night.
Holding the ball decision there, Pete. The player Staritsky not getting the ball out quickly enough.
Baldwin from right centre wing for Fitzroy. Scores level. Osborne was the flyer. Allison. One of only a couple of players wearing long sleeves tonight. Gee, that was almost out of bounds on the full from Sean Smith, and the ball landing about half a metre inside the line. Very good mark, Sean Smith. I don't know that tonight will be ideal for the high markers. As Gerard said, the temperature is going to get down to 6 degrees, so we might have a bit of dew. Fairley slaps down Allison, and the ball carted over the boundary line again. That came from Wielden, so we'll see another throw-in. The redhead in the foreground is Justin McGrath, who was drafted by Hawthorn initially, playing his first game tonight for Fitzroy. O'Connell does the ruck work for the Lions. A real scramble, picked up by Blakey. A high kick, marking contest. Osborne, he knows the forward line pretty well, tries to get it to McGrath. He gets another chance. Back it comes to Board. He might be a bit stiff if he doesn't get the hand pass in. Baldwin off the ground, and conditions becoming pretty slippery. And Allison showing them all a clean pair of heels from right half back flank, kicks to centre wing, and the marking power again illustrated of Sean Smith. Kicks to half forward. Ruse clashing down there with Carey. Carey wins out on this occasion. Beautifully done by the big fellow. Measures the pass. Longmire upright handed. Lynch at the back, and if that's a free kick, Lynch very unlucky.
Now this is the danger for Fitzroy. So many options on the forward line. Let's have a look at that again. The holding decision against Lynch. He was holding on early. I think the umpire in a good position to see that one, Pete.
Yes, I didn't see that initially myself. So the umpire, 4 marks, and that's 4 points from John Longmire. 1 goal. He does go on a lot, gentlemen, doesn't it? The holding of 4 forwards, Lockett, Dunstall, Longmire, and as I said, 4 marks to the umpire for picking it up.
And I've seen a lot worse than that too, Pete, I must admit, from the fullbacks in the holding decisions, and the umpire do let a lot of those go, but on that occasion probably Lynch a little bit unlucky because the umpire in the right position.
North by 6 points. Larkin out of the middle towards half forward. Ruse goes back, gets a fist on it. They bring it out eventually, thanks to Board's soccer towards centre wing. Blakey's got the run of it. He soccers. Now he'll pick it up. He's in trouble. Gets the kick down towards the 50-metre attacking line. Brayshaw reaches over the top, fists it towards the boundary, and runs out of bounds and will be thrown in. 1-1 to a behind. Dean Harding, number 49. I think playing his second game tonight, Bernie.
Yes, that's right, Dennis. Only his second game. A very inexperienced side, as I said earlier, Fitzroy.
Larkin confronted by Blakey. Fairley goes off the ground. Well played by Jose. Gets it across to German. Ironmonger. This is Baldwin. Pulls it back towards centre half forward. North have got the numbers. Brayshaw knocks it across to Staritsky. Oh, clever dummy. Great evasion. Away comes Larkin. Back towards centre wing. German gets rid of Ironmonger. Ruse with desperation. McGrath in the grasp. Dwyer on his knees. Couldn't control it. Carey does well. Good hand pass. Advantage is paid. German forward at centre wing towards centre half forward.
Mark almost taken by McCarthy. Elliott leading in the race for the ball. Longmire comes out beautifully. Turns on a threepenny bit. Can he make it 2 goals? I think he might have just missed one behind. So 1-1 the tally of John Longmire so far. And that was indeed oh so near.
He looked good there too, Pete. The wide open forward line. Brought the ball quickly into that area, centred the ball, and Lynch was fully committed. Once Longmire went to ground, he had no chance of stopping and getting back to contest.
Ironmonger makes the lead. Out wide, the kick comes from Lynch, the Fitzroy vice-captain. Wind, nearly pinned. The Lions up towards centre wing. O'Connell, now it's Schwass. Runs his full distance and kicks long to half forward. Lyon underneath. The high flyer was Carey. Not paid by the umpire. Stevens gets it away to Lyon. A quick kick out in turn to Schwass, former Morrish medalist. Back to German, who, like John Longmire, turns pretty quickly. Stevens goes to spoil effectively from behind. Ball to be won at ground level, and the umpire calls play on. Rock will do just that. Started the game with a couple of free kicks. The snapshot is off target. That's out of bounds on the full. So indicateth the boundary umpire. And it will be a free kick to Fitzroy in the left back pocket. Kick out taken by Paxman. Gallagher, a juggle. He and Allison, two North Melbourne players wearing long sleeves. Longmire does make the lead. I don't think he'd be too happy with that kick coming down his way. Big pack of players up. Stevens got a handle on the ball. Ball hacked out of the air. Noble falls on top of it. Ruse finally soccers it clear, almost up towards centre wing. Jose Romero, a teammate, cattens into him. He did well to get a hand pass, and finally it's taken away by O'Connell. And the mark is taken for the Royals by Wielden, who decides to play on quickly.
Good mark. Good kick too. Should have been marked down there in the pocket. It was missed. O'Connell slaps it out. Osborne has it socked away by Martin. Wielden goes off the ground. Plenty of commitment from the Lions. Romero takes the mark. Romero just up from centre half back. Through the centre towards half forward. Carries the target. Paxman. Good mark. Broke his leg last season. Good to see him back. Towards half forward. Clears the pack and runs free behind. Allison on the burst. Now an opportunity for Harding to board. Hard against the boundary line. Slides it across the face. Brayshaw content to watch it across the line.
Great commitment there, Dennis, by Board on Allison it was, to set up that chance for goal, but unfortunately he couldn't finish it off.
Broderick is on the ground. Harding's hand pass towards the kickoff line, taken by Scholl. Elliott was the man who came off. Kick to the outer side. Ironmonger straight to Larkin though. He's at half back towards half forward with a kick. Carey's in front. Ruse over the top. Lyons got it now inside the centre square. Boots it long towards centre half forward once more. O'Connell the target. Scholl got it on the ground. Romero was met solidly. Storitsky got it from Larkin. Back to Larkin. Well played. German to Storitsky. Through the centre he goes. Inside the attacking 50. Knocked away by Stevens.
Chance for Sean Smith if he can pick the ball up. Lynch, who's one of Fitzroy's best players against Hawthorn last week. That's out of bounds on the full though. And Wayne Schwass should be the one to take the free kick, as in fact he is. Stand in the background ahead of schedule. It's going to be a magnificent structure. Ironmonger should mark and does.
That's something that's been lacking. Ruckman not really taking a lot of overhead marks for Fitzroy this season.
Ruse from left half back. Marking contest, none paid. Romero. Storitsky on right centre wing. Kicks down to half forward. And that's a good mark to Fitzroy again. It's taken for them by Paxman once more. He's taken two good grabs. Blakey decides the ball a little bit too slippery to pick up, so he kicks well off the ground down towards full forward. Now here's a chance for Fitzroy. Ball picked up, and having a shot for goal was Caven, but it's only one behind.
Well done by the young bloke there too, Caven, to knock the ball out, playing in his first game. Just knocked it out of the North Melbourne player's hand and had the opportunity. And just can't finish it off at the moment, Fitzroy.
Brett Allison kicks in. Allison, of course, a famous name at North Melbourne. Ironmonger punches down German, the hand pass. Martin on the end of another one. Not a good kick though by the fullback. Roos. Well up from defence. Blakey. Gathers nicely. You have to get around. Schwass gives the hand pass away. That was well smothered. Now Larkin. It came from Baldwin. And North can swing into attack again. The kick is short and the mark is okay. Carey grabs it. He'll be looking for Longmire. Out he comes, but beating him to it is Spargo. Spargo goes for the hand pass. Dwyer, that's another famous name at North Melbourne, and he's kicked a goal. Dwyer won and Longmire won. The goal kickers for the Roos. They lead by 12 points.
Yes, David Dwyer playing on the wing tonight and providing the run into the forward line. Not picked up by his opponent, who is Terry Board, and really setting up a very easy opportunity to goal, as we see Dwyer running in. His opponent was 50 metres behind him and just not manning up.
Both sides working hard. North have got more to show for it at the present time. They lead by 12 points. Rock to Spargo. Again, they get it out of the middle, long towards full forward, and Lynch was held that time. Alistair Lynch, who did so well last Sunday in relative terms against Jason Dunstall. Out of defence towards centre wing. O'Connell comes a long way up from centre half forward. It spills wide off hands. This is Spargo. Inside the centre square, goes looking for Carey. Couldn't control it, Carey. Close to the boundary line, runs it across.
Should be a terrific contest, those two. Paul Roos and Carey, two great high markers, and Paul Roos, I think, will really appreciate playing on the half-back line.
Gallagher interfered with by Ironmonger. There's Carey, an outstanding prospect. He turns 20 later this month. Very mature for his years. But now it's Gallagher. And Smith was held down the ground. We saw that. Nice work, boys.
Yes, we did see that, and he didn't get away with it. The umpire spotting it. The free kick against Paxman. Sean Smith held momentarily, but just enough, the umpire thought. Maybe a little bit unlucky, Paxman, because I don't think he really held him up, Dennis.
No, not a lot in it.
He's on a worse angle, though.
Normally pretty reliable. Should kick this. And he has. So North skip away now. 3-2 to 2 behind.
And that's the last thing Fitzroy need. Easy goals in the right in front of goal there. Free kick
They had two
given.
free kicks, Bernie.
There's the infringement, and really there was hardly anything in that, because Sean Smith making a fake lead. In the end, he really didn't go hard at it, and Paxman unfortunately caught.
Back into the centre. O'Connell and Fairley. It's the North Melbourne player that wins through. Stumbles. Still gets his kick in, albeit a high one, and the mark is taken by Dwyer, one of North Melbourne's goal kickers, and they have 3 so far, 2 coming from free kicks. Roos up at the back. The ever reliable Brett Stevens, one of the stalwarts of the Lion defence. He kicks to centre wing. And North make something of this. Allison. Boundary line is too close, and it will be a throw in next to the interchange area on centre wing. 10.5 minutes left in the first quarter. Ironmonger and Gallagher. Line ball, that one. Rock, who started well. Roos slaps the ball back over the 50-metre line. Dwyer, a lovely gather at the second attempt. Oh, shocking kick, though. Really let himself down there, but North Melbourne still have the numbers going for the ball. This is Spargo. He gives it back to Rock, who's burning. Rock has a shot at goal, and that's going pretty close, and the goal umpire says full points. So 4 goals to North Melbourne. Champagne football it is. 4 goals the difference.
There's just so many running options in the North Melbourne side. The centre line doing well. Schwass, Spargo and Dwyer, and also the Ruck Rovers moving the ball down the field quickly. Carey contesting very well at centre half forward, and Rock finishing it off the Rover.
Just under 10 minutes remaining till quarter time, and it's North by 24 points. Baldwin came out backwards. scrambly. Eventually it falls to Noble. Telling kicked that one down towards full forward. Caven towards the boundary line. Pushed across by Brayshaw. And it will be thrown in. Ideal conditions, a bit cool and getting colder. Hardly any breeze. And North Melbourne have started best. Fairley and O'Connell to the back of the pack it comes. Blakey, an opportunity now, pulls it back. That's a very good looking kick. They'll contest a couple of metres out. Brayshaw had it, then lost it. Martin tries to go off the ground, picks it up nicely. Allison working hard, socket off the ground, and again put through by Caven.
Well, they worked hard for that, Bernie, didn't they?
They sure did, Pete, and I thought North Melbourne were going to get out of trouble there for a moment, but Caven eventually kicking that off the ground for an easy goal. Martin held back on the kick off the ground, fortunately. The ball spills out there. A good kick off the ground, getting it into the square, and Caven finishes off with his first goal in AFL football.
Young Harding kicking it back.
26 plays 8. Caven kicking the first goal for Fitzroy. Noble, the hand pass, comes to Elliott. His kick to half forward, a marking contest, none there. O'Connell laid on scene, there's a whistle, and it's going to be a Fitzroy free kick.
There's interference there in that marking contest. That was against Ian Fairley coming back. He didn't have his eyes on the ball, only eyes on the man, and the free kick to be taken by Dean Harding.
He was the man who set up that last goal with his soccer out of the pocket. Very good footy.
Another of the Lion rookies, and he'll be kicking from about 48 metres. So distance shouldn't be a problem. Accuracy isn't either. 2 goals to Fitzroy in a minute. So 3 goals in total from free kicks out of the total of 6 on the board. 14 plays, 26 in favour of North.
Well, they're not looking all that bad either, the young Fitzroy side. They're working particularly hard, and the centre square is one area that they're working particularly hard, especially with big Johnny Ironmonger. He's really trying to get his hand to the ball first.
We'll have another chance here. 2 quick goals to the Roys. Ironmonger tries to find McGrath, couldn't do so. Out of the centre, Larkin will tap North Melbourne's way. Ruse is in the road. Straight down the ground, not a long kick. Allison at the back of the pack shows best judgment. And Allison kicks to the left half forward flank. Schwass, Dwyer for North Melbourne. Both miss it. Gallagher trying to barge his way through. Good tackle applied down there. And the ball spills free under the legs of about 6 players. And the umpire has decided that at left half forward for North Melbourne it will be a bounce. And John Blakey's going to be the last man to get up. 7.5 minutes left in the first quarter. Harding and Caven, the goal kickers for Fitzroy. Rock, Dwyer, Sean Smith and Longmire, the goal kickers for North Melbourne. The bounce, Ironmonger. Back to centre wing, Fairley with the hand pass. Larkin through some very heavy traffic, and well done Matthew Larkin. Splendid play up to half forward, and a fine mark has been dragged in for Fitzroy by Baldwin.
He's playing pretty well too as he kicks it out wide. Lyon's got the run of it. Storitsky came to meet him. Lyon kept his footing. He's on centre wing, goes over the top to Broderick. Oops, had gone before he had the ball. Storitsky. McCarthy now at half back. Bad luck for Fitzroy, a more particularly bad play there. Wine comes up, takes the mark. Penetrating kick. Wheeldon. Terrific mark.
Yeah, tremendous mark on the lead. Darren Wheeldon and his teammates really appreciate that one. A good, strong, hard lead out in front. Scholl really tried everything to spoil, but that's a fantastic mark on the lead.
He kicked 24 goals in 7 games last season. A player of great promise. He kicks from 40. It's good. So the Lions have kicked the last 3.
Yes, Dennis, and it's all starting from the centre. Big John Ironmonger really has given Fitzroy something tonight. He's attacking the ball with vigour, winning in the ruck, and that makes all the difference. If they can get the ball out of the middle, put the pressure on the North Melbourne back line, then Fitzroy has a chance, especially with the players in the forward line. Wheeldon, Osborne, O'Connell have some options up on the forward line.
The Lions kicking the last 3, only 6 points the difference now. After it looked like a very one-sided affair early in the term, Spargo on the bottom of that pack. And last to get up is Noble.
Again, Pete, we saw how John Ironmonger attacked that ball at the centre bounce. He really went at it, and even though he was out of position, he made Gallagher earn it.
He certainly had mixed fortune since he transferred from the Sydney Swans, injury and other such things. Gallagher won that one. That's on the shoulder, says the umpire, and Wayne Schwass will take the free kick. Schwass short of half forward. He'll be looking for Longmire, who marks in front of Lynch. Alistair Lynch, a very versatile player, could play just about anywhere, but at the moment preferred in the key defence role. Held Jason Dunstall to 6 last week at North Hobart. Longmire from 45 out. And goal umpire doesn't have to move, it's a goal. Longmire's second and North Melbourne's 5th. They lead by 12 points.
He's the danger man. He's looking in very good form tonight, John Longmire, up against a good competitor in Alistair Lynch. Just the strength there. Alistair Lynch unfortunately slipping at the last moment. Just losing his footing. The surface a little bit slippery out there tonight, Dennis.
Always a good feeling when you feel the other guy slip over, isn't it?
Oh, beautiful when you can take those chest marks when he's hanging onto your ankles.
Yes. Bounce back in the middle. Ironmonger and Gallagher. One down by the ladder. Lyon crashes his way through. Well played.
There's another great competitor for Fitzroy, Rossi Lyon.
Long kick inside the attacking 50. Wheeldon knocked away by Martin. O'Connell goes off the ground. Osborne close to the boundary line, pulls it back. It's bending back. It's not a bad effort. Oh, gee, that was close. It kept coming back and coming back. Not quite far enough. 5-2 to 3-3. Allison to kick it in. Entertaining game so far. Allison out wide. Martin's got the run of it close to the boundary line. Slapped away by Wheeldon a long way up the ground, and we've got a boundary throw in.
At right half forward for Fitzroy, about 60 metres out from goal. Dennis has got the Gucci gloves on, so it must be getting cool.
Gucci.
That's what they are. Fitzroy in attack. Fairley. Larkin on top of it. McGrath. Good hand pass. Lyon on the end of it. Osborne knows where the goals are. Larkin, will he catch him? Just about got him. He'll have to go for a hand pass now. That was holding the ball. Free kick to North Melbourne to be taken by Larkin in the last line of defence.
Tremendous by Matty Larkin. I didn't know he had that much pace. Richard Osborne.
He didn't either, Bernie.
No, but he didn't give up there, and he caught him. He ran him down. Tremendous stuff.
Great effort. German leading Noble. The hand pass taken by Spargo. Ramiro. He'll be looking for Longmire. Stevens in front. Longmire over the top. No mark. The hand pass. Eventually comes out to Smith. McCarthy was on it early, but he's missed the shot and only one behind. We'll point to the Roos. 33 their total. Fitzroy 21. 5-3. And they've had plenty of opportunities up there. Fitzroy's defence certainly working well. The Lions vice-captain, only 22, seems to have been around for a while. Ironmonger and Gallagher to the outer side. Goes up the centre. No mark paid to Schwass. Spargo's kick is high. Underneath it is Noble. Roos. Danger here if German can get near it. He can't. And one behind rushed by the Lions veteran. So 5-4. North Melbourne's tally. Fitzroy 3-3. 2 3/4 minutes left in the first quarter.
Much better side Fitzroy with Paul Roos at centre-half back. Much better side. Lynch kicks in. Members side. Ironmonger. Oh, and that hurt.
Gee, he copped that, didn't he? From
wide open he was.
Wayne Carey coming the other way. Straight at him, and no doubt about that, a free kick. Carey didn't have his eyes on the ball, but gee, collected Johnny Ironmonger very hard.
Baldwin took the hand pass. Ironmonger still groggy. Storitsky was up very high. Fairley was tripped and the ball's out of bounds. Is it deliberate? No, says the umpire. They've had a change of heart this week.
Gee, that would have been a tough decision though, wouldn't it, Dennis? I know you're pretty tough on the umpires about that one, but Fairley, I think, was tripped in the first instance and the umpire didn't pay that. So I think in the end, he just squared up.
Did they do that? Rock's got the ball towards the boundary line. This is McCarthy, surrounded. Gets the kick off towards half forward. Carey lays it off very quickly. Ramiro down towards Longmire. Behind a chance now for North Smith. Paxman did well. Schwass has got the run of it. Close to the boundary line. Goes with his right foot. Upended it. Bounces down towards the pocket. Longmire only as far as Paxman. Baldwin has been lively. Towards the half-back flank. Osborne off the ground unintentionally, I fancy.
But did well just the same. He might do it again. He did. Trying to get it up to Harding. But Allison, cool in the crisis, has taken it over the line. Minute 20 left in the term. And Fitzroy serving up the challenge to North and doing it well so far. Fairley and O'Connell. McGrath, the rookie from Hawthorn, gives the hand pass away. Lyon kicks to full forward. Oh, gee, that was so nearly a mark to Wielden. He took a screamer early. O'Dwyer riding an opponent into the ground. Martin, he's just about caught with the ball. Good tackle, Blakey. That's a free kick.
Oh, that was terrible play there by Michael Martin. Just too slow. He had the chance to soccer the ball off the ground. He stood up and just waited for the players. He said, come and tackle me.
Doesn't rate Fitzroy, I don't think, watching that.
John Blakey off the edge of the square. Oh, gee, that's a pretty good kick. Now, is it a goal or a mark to Osborne? I think it's a mark. Right on the line. You could not get any closer. Maybe Osborne a little surprised there, because had he stood aside, it would have been a goal, because nobody else had a handle on it. And a perfect angle we saw there. He marked about a foot inside. Banana kick. Result is good. So Osborne brings up his first goal, and the Lions supporters have something to cheer about. 34-27.
Well, yes, at least tonight they are competitive. They're doing well, especially in the second half of this term. As we see that mark again, maybe a push in the back there by Peter Caven on Mark Brayshaw. But he got away with it, and Osborne, sitting there on the goal line by himself, took the mark.
Very good opening term, this one. And the margin is 7 points North's way. Red hot favourites tonight, of course. Fitzroy still to win a game. Ironmonger seems to be okay after that heavy knock. Credit to him. Up he goes and gets it down. Noble. Staritsky. In the last 10 seconds of the term now. Smith. German in the grasp. Kicks it out wide. Ramiro. Almost siren time. Ramiro pulls it back down inside 50 on the siren. And at quarter time, North Melbourne lead by 7 points, 5-4 to 4-3.
And at the MCG in round 7, North Melbourne leading by 7 points at the first change. 2 to Longmire, singles to Sean Smith, Dwyer and Rock. And for Fitzroy, their goal kickers all singles, Caven, Harding, Osborne and Wielden.
Today's game is part of the Carlton and United Breweries 1991 AFL Premiership season.
Robert Shaw, I think he would be pleased at quarter time with the Lions' efforts, certainly a lot better than they did last week at North Hobart. And a big weekend of sport coming up on 7. A reminder tonight, later tonight, the first singles in the Davis Cup quarter-final at Nîmes, Australia and France. And you'll be seeing that exclusively on 7 Sport. And tomorrow, of course, NBL basketball. It continues. Week 5 is underway. The Southern Saints got back on the winning list last night. Credit to them over at Illawarra. Check your local guides for details of our coverage. Let's go down to the boundary line to find out what the coaches had to say. Here's Gerard Healy.
Thanks, Peter. Well, Wayne Schimmelbusch was pleased with North Melbourne's start, but he thought his players relaxed and let Fitzroy players lead them to the ball. He reminded them that the ball will slip over the back of the packs, and he told them not to fiddle with the ball with too much handball. Robert Shaw encouraged his players and asked them to maintain their aggression at the ball, which was good. He wants more of their on-ball players crumbing in the back line and wants them to get the ball out of the centre.
Right, thanks, Gerard. Bernie, let's look at the stats to quarter time.
They're fairly even, although North Melbourne with the run of the handball out of the half-back line and into the forward line, 33 to 20, well on top in that area. The hit-outs, let me see. Yes, Johnny Ironmonger doing well. 11 hit-outs to 6. And that's where in the second part of that term, the first quarter, Fitzroy started to get on top because of Ironmonger's dominance in the centre.
Well, let's hope he's okay after being met very heavily late in the first term. Second quarter from the MCG, round 7, 7 points the difference. North Melbourne and Fitzroy, the Roos in front. Fitzroy coming back well in the latter stages of the opening quarter. North Melbourne getting it out of the centre 6 times to Fitzroy's 3. Socket up towards half forward by Baldwin. And that will be over the boundary line for a throw-in, about 50 metres from goal, in front of the Lions captain Richard Osborne. And his marker at the moment, Craig Scholl. 5-4 to 4-3 it is. Broderick kicks to the pocket. That was a bump ball. The hand pass came out from Wielden. McGrath couldn't take it. Martin. And North Melbourne will be able to get clear. Dwyer, who kicked a lovely goal on the run in the opening term. He'll have to be quick to get his kick in here. He is. He kicks to half forward. That's about as far as they're going though. Gallagher takes the hand pass from Sean Smith and then farms it out again. Back to Dwyer. Right on 50. Long kick will go close to goal. And almost a Fitzroy mark. In fact, Lynch at the back does the mopping up well. Roos away from Dwyer. Spargo. Have to get it out quickly, Elliott. He does. Dwyer. Ramiro. Right in the pocket. Could run out of room. Longmire. He's kicked 2. That looks pretty good. John Longmire has kicked 3. Magnificent goal from the Coleman medalist of last year. 6-4 to 4-3.
And he's the danger man, Johnny Longmire, starting to look something like the 1990 John Longmire, where he had a magnificent season, 98 goals last year. Ramiro may have been a little bit lucky to get away with that because he ducked just as Lynch was about to apply the tackle, and maybe could have been awarded a free kick there, Alistair Lynch. But Johnny Longmire taking the opportunity to clean up and snapped an excellent goal.
Yes, the fortunes of footy very fickle at the other end. Darren Wielden did brilliantly with a half volley, but the hand pass wasn't handled cleanly. They paid the price at the other end, and now a centre square infringement. Fitzroy to get a free kick. John Ironmonger doing well for them. Down towards half forward. Off hands, it falls to Dwyer. Little chip pass. Ramiro finding space on the outer side to the run of Spargo. Towards half forward now, Paul Spargo. Long kick down towards a vacant square. McCarthy runs back. Almost held on. And pushed against the behind post by Lynch. So a throw in. McCarthy had done the hard work running back with the flight of the ball. Then lost it. Ironmonger, former Sandover medalist. Roos. Stevens did well in a tight situation. Wind across to Roos. Kicks towards centre wing. Osborne's in front. knocked away by Scholl, taken by German. Brayshaw knocks it on. McGrath, it's going to be a free kick. Advantage is paid. McGrath continues on then. Kicks towards half forward, all North Melbourne. Allison.
Just inside the square. Broderick being brought back on the mark. And Allison goes wide. Schwass marking in front of Caven. One of the Fitzroy rookies in the side tonight. 9 changes they made after the debacle of last week. Roos punches the ball clear. Dwyer gets clear but then gets nailed. Ball slapped into the open spaces. Schwass, he'll have to be quick. He wasn't quick enough. Good tackle. Ooh, Larkin gets met very heavily. That was from Broderick. The ball still to be won on centre wing. And finally Spargo takes the hand pass at right centre wing, kicks up towards full forward, and Lynch doing brilliantly to punch the ball clear over the boundary line. Good battle, that one. Longmire, you'd have to say, is on top at the moment because he's kicked 3 goals, but Alistair Lynch making him earn every touch. Boundary throw in, right forward pocket for the Roos. Gallagher and Ironmonger. McCarthy. Centering kick knocked away by Elliott. Roos. Long hand pass, must have travelled about 25 metres. Lyon at centre wing or centre field, and that's an excellent mark taken by Wielden. He took a ripper in the first quarter and he's already kicked 1 goal.
Yes, very good player, this bloke, Darren Wielden. He's not over tall.
Good use of the body there, Bernie.
Yeah, the use of the body exceptional. The good thing about him is his agility. He moves around very well, he recovers well, and he's always on the move.
For goal number 2, it would be handy for them, and I don't think it's there. 1 behind. Certainly deserved better. 6-4 to 4-4, 2 goals. A few late arrivals and crowd building up a little bit now. Very small when the match got underway. It wouldn't have been 5,000 people here. Allison kicks into Martin, who marks at right half-back flank, very close to the boundary line. There's Michael Martin. McGrath, a good spoil. Ball comes back to Wine. Turns quickly, shoots it to half forward. Marking contest, none there. Larkin, good space, good shepherd. Spargo. Schwass will go off the ground, does it well. Longmire leading out again from Lynch. Ramiro on the end of a hand pass, around 1, around 2, a trusty left foot, and it's a goal. (7-4 to 4-4 at the MCG.
Yes, very classy play there by Jose Ramiro. As we look at this in replay, Johnny Longmire out in front again, a very clever hand pass, just drawing Lynch away from Ramiro. And you got around 2 players there. The second one, Brett Stevens, on the left foot. And that was all class. He looked a tremendous play there, Jose Ramiro.
Gallagher wins it down. Lyon comes away. O'Connell's off the ground for the Lions. Wielden in front. He really is a one-grab player.
Yep, he's very sure of the hands, Darren Wielden. He's 6 centimetres shorter than Michael Martin. They're under a fair bit of pressure too from Martin. But the one grab, prepared to get in front.
Fitzroy need this. Kicking at his 2nd. Their 5th. It's home. A smiling goal umpire.
He smiled when it was a point before, so he's a happy man.
Happy fella, that's right.
Let's have a look at that in replay. As Wielden, as I said, he's prepared to use his body well, gets in front. 6 centimetres shorter, as I said, than Michael Martin. That doesn't matter if a forward is prepared to move. And it doesn't matter if a forward is 6 centimetres taller. If he's not prepared to move and lead, he will be out jumped and out marked. And the full-back will be able to thump the ball away.
North by 12 points. Larkin out of the congestion towards half forward. Roos getting on top of Carey now. Wants to play on. Not a good kick towards midfield. Chandler. Ramiro. Chandler was tripped. He'll get the free kick.
Good to see that too, Dennis. Or was it a kicking in danger or a trip? Baldwin putting the boots in there and the umpire awarding the free kick, kicking in danger.
Haxman from Chandler's kick. Sean Smith has to get it out quickly. Dwyer. Longmire. Ramiro off the ground. That could be a goal. So very near to a goal.
The wrong one to the right-hander.
7-5 to 5-4. O'Connell off the ground. Gerard Healy, what's the matter with him?
Thanks, Peter. Well, he's gone over on his left ankle and he's being checked by the club doctor. They don't think it's too bad, and he's currently getting it strapped and should return.
Stevens kicks in. Good long kick to the outer side. Gallagher at the back, goes the spoil. Smith, oh gee, that was just about a throw. Not just about, says the umpire. And John Ironmonger, he's not going to take the free kick. It's going to be taken by Elliott, whose build is just slightly different. Fairley. That looked high too. Paxman will get the free kick. Fitzroy making this a contest after their 157-point drubbing last week at North Hobart. Martin wins that body-to-body duel. Some good duels on out here tonight, and a much better game than perhaps many people expected it to be, certainly so far. This ball's to be won right half forward for North Melbourne. The soccer skills of both teams particularly good at the moment. Schwass to Rock, who started the game in the first quarter with 2 free kicks. Lynch, courage shown there. Free kick, Ruse. Will the ball be brought back, or is it play on? Chandler, whose nickname is Movies, and you'd wonder why. Stevens. Carey holding his hand there. I don't know whether he got kicked in it. McGrath, he's told to play on. Staritsky drags him down. That was sudden death. Elliott kicks the ball around the corner. Dwyer, a high kick, only travels about 30 metres. And it comes to McCarthy. Oh, he's nearly pinned. He's lost it, but it goes to a teammate in Matthew Larkin. Over 50 metres out. Kicks to the square. It rolls through for one behind. So a further point to North Melbourne, and there he is. He got...
He collided with Lynch. Lynch came back, trying to take that very courageous mark. Carey was coming up and probably got that thumb jammed, I'd suggest.
Doesn't look too happy at the moment. Lynch will kick the ball back into play.
Dundas just came on the ground. It was intended for him, but Smith, great effort running back with the flight of the ball.
Talking about courage, Dennis, with Alistair Lynch. Well, none better there than Sean Smith.
Dundas this time out of defence. Gets a kick. Ironmonger across half back. Stevens towards half forward. Fairley, strong mark in the pack. Lays it off. Chandler to Scholl on centre wing. Kicks towards half forward. Ramiro drifting in behind, will fly. Baldwin couldn't control it. Schwass, untidy hand pass. Lynch, was he carried forward? Not according to the umpire. Play on's the call, and Rocks kick the goal.
2 goals to Rock. 8-6 to 5-4.
And the player there setting up that goal was Schwass. He was dispossessed of the ball. We'll have a look at this in replay. Here's Schwass. He picks up the ball. 3 Fitzroy players converge on him. And there's Lynch. He dived forward. Good decision by the umpire to let it go. And well done, Schwass, because he really worked hard to set that goal up for Rock.
Carey off the ground and replaced by Angus. 54 to 34. North Melbourne bolt away to a 20-point lead. And that is a stalemate at midfield. He went straight to the phone, Carey. Obviously, Wayne Schimmelbusch keen to find out how bad the injury was and to say a few words of encouragement perhaps to him as well. Gallagher and Dwyer. Stevens to Dundas, who's just come onto the ground with Chandler, who also started on the bench. Rock, who kicked that last goal, all kept in play. Ramiro has to get rid of it quickly, does so to Dwyer, to Big Gallagher. Fairley knocked away by Ruse. Dundas, Big Johnny Ironmonger, the man mountain if ever there was one. Oh, that's a strong mark to Allison, marking in front of Harding. A really good grab under these conditions. Staritsky puts it back to him. So he's impressing the stats man if nothing else. Wine on right centre wing. Not much of him. Very courageous little player. Angus Taps down to Dundas. Staritsky dragged to the ground. Lyon. Dwyer. Just a scramble at the moment. Staritsky again, but can't do much with it. In fact, can't do anything with it. Stevens showed courage to go in, but then had to get it out quickly. Whined like a ferret.
He was waiting for that, wasn't he? He knew it was coming. It was just a question of when.
He deserved the free kick. He had the courage to put his body in, his head down.
Dundas. That's about 4 touches in 30 seconds. Well, there was some interference there, was there? But who's going to get the free kick? Harding was breaking away with the ball, but I fancy it might go to North Melbourne.
Yeah, the free against Wielden there. He just charged the North Melbourne player. He didn't have his eye on the ball, and the umpire rightly paid the free kick to North Melbourne.
German to Scholl. Scholl will kick towards centre wing. Fairly got a handle on the ball. Baldwin didn't get it very far. Ball tapped back again from Board, and the umpire blowing the whistle once more. And it's going to be a free kick, would you believe it, to Dundas, who has done remarkably well since he got off the bench.
5th kick. Run towards half forward. Osborne didn't go back far enough. Wielden left it behind. Martin and half back to German. Towards half forward. Roos standing his ground, uncontested.
Fairley's been moved to centre half forward with Carey off the ground.
Wind towards half forward with his kick. Board knocking it forward. Caven got it away. Taking a slide there was Harding. His kick gained about 25 metres and spins out of bounds. Let's go down to Gerard Healy.
Yes, well, Wayne Carey copped a nasty knock just above the left elbow, and the big concern was that he may have suffered some nerve damage because he had lost all strength in his left hand. But I think at this stage he looks quite okay.
Dundas this time grabbed. Osborne, the hand pass in. Ooh, that was Baldwin. Didn't come out with the ball. It goes up towards centre wing position. Ironmonger has to double back. Couldn't do so. Romero. It'll be close to the boundary line. It's over on the full. Boundary umpire about 50 metres behind. And Romero looks as though he's come off second best there. Wine. Kicks to McGrath. If he's not called Bluey, you'd wonder why. Ironmonger at the back. Spargo. Grabbed well. Loose ball. Back it comes to Ironmonger from Ball. The kick to half forward. Chance for Blakey. Martin runs well at the ball. Courage. Back comes the hand pass to Wielden. Left foot snapshot is close. The goal umpire might have something to smile about again. Goal. 3 goals to Wielden. And a much better Fitzroy effort tonight than last Sunday at North Hobart. 8-6 to 6-4.
Yes, and I'd want to be too, Peter, because they really weren't competitive last week, but totally committed tonight. Wielden doing well on the forward line and making something out of nothing here on that left boot, just bringing it around beautifully to float that one through.
Back in the middle. North by 14 points. Carey getting ready to come back on. This is Spargo meantime. Romero measures the kick from 40 metres out. The quick reply. North 9-6, Fitzroy 6-4.
Yeah, they've got the answers, North Melbourne. They seem to be able to score at will virtually, get the ball quickly out of the middle on that occasion. And 2 very good rovers in Romero and Rock. Spargo, a good player in the centre, feeding the hand pass out. And no worries for Jose from about 50 metres.
Romero's second goal. He's been busy. 12 possessions so far tonight. 20 points the margin now. Caven scrambles one out towards left half forward. Brayshaw knocks it towards the boundary, and it's taken across there by Angus just on the ground. North fans thinking Angus was held a long time in the tackle. So boundary throw in. Gallagher and Caven, it seems, will do the ruck work. Caven wins it forward, taken by Scholl across his body. Dundas again. Been very busy. Not a good kick though. Dwyer at the second attempt.
That's a terrible kick there by Matthew Dundas. He was under pressure in the end. He needn't have played on because that kick setting it up for North Melbourne.
Spargo to half forward. Well, Romero could make it another one. He's got 3. Longmire, unselfish, this time with the right foot, kicks truly for a goal. 3 to Romero, 3 to Longmire, and they combined there. Wielden has 3 for Fitzroy, 10-6 to 6-4.
There's the old 1-2 there. Romero to Longmire, back to Romero. And Romero kicks his 3rd, all coming in this second quarter. But as I said, up the other end of the ground, Fitzroy had control of the ball. Dundas played on very quickly. A mistake coming from his boot and straight down the other end for a goal.
26 points the difference. Carey back on for Fairley. Gallagher and Ironmonger again won by the Fitzroy ruckman. Wine with a wobbly kick to half forward. Caven almost took the mark, and then it appeared he was held. The umpire says no, play on. Lyon and Spargo. Scholl, and North Melbourne will get out of danger again. German, his hurried kick up towards the edge of the square. Schwass, good hand pass. The recipient is Rock, and Rock takes it down to Longmire at half forward. Lynch wearing him like a glove, and Longmire I think will run out of room if he isn't caught with the ball. The umpire though says play on, and Fitzroy supporters weren't happy with that. Board went without it. Gallagher, good hand pass. Longmire fires it back whence it came. Schwass again, very busy. Squares the ball up towards half forward, and there he is, Carey taking the mark, so he seems to be okay.
An excellent kick there by Schwass, who's doing very well on the wing. He saw Carey leading to the open spaces. Roos virtually waiting for Schwass to have a shot at goal.
Well within kicking distance, under 9 minutes left in this quarter, and it has been a good one so far for North Melbourne. 48 to 49 metres out, but he's missed. In fact, would be lucky to scrape in 4 behind, and just having a little practice kick there again, like you've missed a putt. 67 to 40. Bernie Quinlan is not talking about golf tonight after what happened on the first at Woodlands during the week.
You said you wouldn't mention that, Peter. Come on.
Do I always keep my word though, Bernie?
No, you're right. I did have a shocker on that first. I don't want to remember it. It was terrible.
Alistair Lynch kicks in and kicks in well.
Gallagher missed it. This is Roos behind towards the boundary line. McGrath gains about 10 metres, and Osborne carries it across.
I need more out of Osborne, Dennis, don't you feel? Like he put his hand up at the start of the season. He wanted to be captain.
Right.
And he's had a very poor season so far.
Perfect opportunity here. This game in the balance. A couple of goals to North, and they could split it wide open. Angus, a fist on that one, taken by Larkin. Still he goes. Dwyer stood his ground in front of the oncoming hordes. Blakey slaps it out. Board gave it away. This is Brayshaw on centre wing. Brayshaw down towards half forward. Stevens towards the boundary line with a fist, and Roos escorts it. Is that the word? Deliberate, says the umpire.
He's paid it too. Oh, that's tough, isn't it?
I think you said you're kidding there, Paul Roos. Words to that effect. He's not too happy with it anyway.
I have no comment.
Well, the lip readers could have worked that out. You're kidding. There he is. I don't think that should have been paid, because he just, as you said, he escorted it over the boundary line. He did not knock that out deliberately.
He did not change the fate of that ball. Carey has it fisted away. Wind showed a lot of courage. He's got plenty of that. Gains about 20 metres. Sliding over McGrath. Schwass, who's been clever so far in this term, went out of bounds.
The crowd going crook because they thought that Longmire was out of bounds earlier there too, Dennis. I feel that this boundary umpire has no idea of what's going on.
This is controversy corner down here, isn't it? McGrath in the grasp. Dwyer lost the ball, slaps it out. Well done by Smith to German. Kicks it wide, looking for Longmire. Fisted away by Lynch. Ironmonger deep in his own defensive area, chips it out wide, intended for Roos. Larkin left the ball behind. Blakey goes off the ground. Angus does likewise, and it goes out of bounds on the far wing.
Under 7 minutes left in the quarter. Big John Ironmonger with Peter German. Now, Ironmonger certainly has the height. German, though, nearly finished up with the ball. That's Gallagher. Longmire in front of Lynch, and what a great battle that is. Longmire has kicked 3 and had a hand in another one at least. But Alistair Lynch playing a great game.
Yes, well, there's nothing Lynch can do about passes like that coming from big Michael Gallagher. A good kick there from Gallagher and a good lead from Johnny Longmire.
For goal number 4, 2 other players have 3 goals, Ramiro and Wielden. 45 metres out, distance not a problem again. It's a goal. So 4 goals to John Longmire, and North Melbourne scoot ahead 11-7 to 6-4 at the MCG.
And kicking very well for goal tonight too, John Longmire. 4 goals, 1. As we see this in replay, Gallagher, who did the ruck work, backing up, picking the ball up off the ground. A beautiful kick into Johnny Longmire. Longmire, of course, kicked 14 goals in one night game last season, so the night conditions don't worry him at all.
The full forward certainly to the fore at the moment in the AFL. Longmire, Lockett, Dunstall and Sumich, all great ball winners. Schwass, speaking of ball winners, he's doing well tonight. The ball bounces over the back of the pack. Rock takes the hand pass, and it could have bounced either way. I think it was going to bounce through from behind, but it was escorted through again. 74-40, 34 points in favour of North Melbourne. And again, Alistair Lynch, when he plays on the forward line, one of the best high marks in the game. German punches clear. Lyon's hand pass into the open spaces. Spargo gets there first. Scholl, well up from defence. Lyon, almost a high tackle. German, he's opposite number 29. Scholl again, kicks high to the forward line. Sean Smith gets the front position. Brett Stevens tries to hug the boundary line with the kick. Larkin almost takes it over the boundary line. Be careful. And it is out of bounds, but it will be a throw in. So Fitzroy need a couple of goals to stay in contention by the main change. Gallagher and Ironmonger. And the big fellow does it again. A real lion-hearted effort at the moment. Scholl. Very quick hand pass to Allison, but the boundary line might be too close. He gets past Elliott, does he? Is he out of bounds? Looking back at the boundary umpire, he is.
You would have thought a Fitzroy player could have blocked him off on that run there too, Brett Allison. He ran along the boundary line for about 30 metres, and not one Fitzroy player coming in to bump.
Had time to move the fence.
Gallagher. Ineffective. Elliott. Osborne. Over to Matthew Dundas, who has done well since he came onto the ground. He's certainly livened them up around the packs. Angus. Oh, bad hand pass McGrath. You'll have to be quick, and he is. McGrath's kick into open spaces at half forward. Plenty of weight being used in that pack. Martin. That's out of bounds now. In front of Wielden and Angus, and it will be thrown in about 55 to 60 metres from goal.
Wielden did well there to smother that handball. Lock it in. Dangerous time this for the Lions. They need a couple of goals themselves ideally, but they can't let North score again. High kick to centre wing. Favours Dundas on the ground. Forward of centre wing, he kicks down towards the pocket. Scholl, who's done well in this term, goes back and marks on his chest. His 10th possession upcoming. Back to half-back. Ironmonger and Gallagher. Waiting in front, Noble from 55 metres out, down towards the kick-off line. Martin in best position, couldn't hang on. Scholl slaps it away. Wielden goes off the ground. Hit board. Was hit again too. It comes out to Osborne in the grasp. He goes after it again. Richard Osborne lays it off. The hand pass comes across now and is taken by Lyon from 50. He got it from Harding, and the kick's a wayward one and bounces out of bounds in the pocket. 11-8 to 6-4. O'Connell getting ready to come back on. Just over 2 minutes remaining till half-time. Brayshaw finds Dwyer, playing his 71st game tonight. Played only one last season. Staritsky up from half-back, gives it away. Baldwin, little short pass. Noble camped underneath it.
Well, it's got to be 50, surely.
Collected it.
There was no attempt whatsoever to go for the ball there from Jose Ramiro. And Wielden, who is a bit of a hothead, he's certainly standing up for his teammate, and it's good to see. But Jose Ramiro, very lucky to get away with that.
Certainly agree with that, Bernie. Blakey takes the mark.
Ooh, thump.
Well,
Looks worse in replay.
It does, doesn't it?
Yes, it looks much worse.
Well, they might look at that again later. Didn't see any bookings though. Lead being made by Harding, who's decided to ignore that. Blakey from 40 metres out. Angle is slight. The kick is good. It's a goal. Well, deserved a goal. The mark took courage. 11-8 to 7-4. North Melbourne in front, 74-46.
Yes, it did take a bit of courage in the end too, Pete, because he knew a player was bearing down on him. A very strong one-grab mark with Jose Romero coming in to do the thumping. And Johnny Blakey found some space on the forward line, got out by himself and finished it off with a good drop punt for goal.
Back into the centre. Goal to Fitzroy, their 7th. They still trail 46-74. Can they get another one before half-time? 1 minute and 20 left before the main change. And there's a whistle. It'll be a free kick to Fitzroy to be taken by Wind on left centre wing. Clock ticking down. So time for both teams to score. Oh, that's a good mark to Blake. He didn't pay it. Was it touch, Bernie?
Well, I've got no idea why that's not paid. I thought it was an excellent effort there by John Blakey. Let's have a look again. Blakey in front. Oh, well, it may have hit the ground there in that last attempt, Pete.
Ironmonger runs into Larkin. And the umpire has decided it's a stalemate. John Ironmonger has a few words to say to him. And it's going to be a bounce just outside 50. 40 seconds to go before half-time. And a goal here to Fitzroy will be more than handy. Gallagher and Ironmonger. Socket off the ground by Caven. It won't be a score. It will be out of bounds with half a minute remaining in the half.
11-8, 7-4. Boundary throw in. Clock continues to run. We're down to 10 seconds now. Fitzroy would like a goal here. One play to get it. Martin out of bounds on the full, so they will get a chance after the siren to kick a goal. Whoops. Jamie Elliott right against the fence.
Take a very good kick from there, Dennis, even though the boundary line has been moved in 3 metres with the work in on that southern stand, but still on a very tight angle.
Elliott slides it across the face. So at half-time, North Melbourne have a handy lead, 74-46, but Fitzroy have shown plenty of heart tonight. They've had their chances, and some of their youngsters are trying very hard for them too and setting the standard. Michael Martin's had his hands full with Darren Wielden. Half-time then at the MCG, 11-8 plays 7-4, the Kangaroos lead.
And welcome back to the MCG. North Melbourne leading by 28 points at half-time. The Roos kicking 6 goals in the second quarter to Fitzroy's 3. A difference of 28 points after they led by 7 points at the first change. Well, of course, with the Adelaide Crows coming into the AFL competition this year, the SANFL competition has taken on a new look with 9 teams contesting the premiership honours during season 1991. In the AFL, of course, the West Coast Eagles are the pace setters at the moment, but the Eagles are also doing well over in South Australia. Max Stevens reports.
The West Torrens Football Club and the Woodville Football Club joined forces this season and created the Eagles. After 6 rounds, the new side remains undefeated, sitting on top of the SANFL ladder. After more than a decade with Norwood, coach Neil Baum took the helm at the Eagles in their debut year.
Well, I can't lose, you see, because I live in Adelaide, I lived in Melbourne for a while and I come from Perth, so unless Sydney or Brisbane wins, I'm in trouble.
Yes, he played in Melbourne all right, and any football lover would remember him in the 70s as a tough customer with Richmond. Neil Baum is just what this new Adelaide club needed, a breath of fresh air.
The Eagles here are doing very well. We struggled early, and we didn't do as well, and anywhere near as well as we thought we would in the Foundation Cup, but fortunately our form so far has been pretty good in the real season.
While the Eagles soar high in South Australia, Baum is also keeping a close eye on the Adelaide Crows.
In a lot of ways it's good because we have got our local guys playing in what we call, I suppose everyone calls the best competition without having to leave home, which is a good thing. On the negative point of view, obviously club footy has suffered a little bit. We've suffered a bit crowd-wise, but I think crowds are pretty well up to budget as that we expected them to be, so we're not going too badly.
He believes the SANFL and the Crows have learnt a heap from what has happened in Western Australia.
Anyone who knows anything about business knows that if you don't look after that, the foundation of your business, the rest of it's not going to last at all. And in South Australia, I think that's our advantage, and at least the two organisations, the Crows and the SANFL, are virtually the same, and they're working to the same ends.
Port Adelaide, North Adelaide and Glenelg will again be a force in the SANFL, but this year the Eagles may be the name on everyone's beak come September. Max Stevens for AFL Today.
Max Stevens reporting from Adelaide, and of course Neil Baum was, and I guess always will be, one of the more colourful characters in football wherever he's involved, and good to see him doing so well over there in Adelaide at the moment. I guess all commentators like to think upon themselves sometimes as umpires, be it right or wrong, but one of our most popular segments during the AFL 1991 is What's Your Decision? And hosted once more in our Sports World studio is Bruce McAvoy.
Yes, we have Shane McDonald with us for What's Your Decision, and this is a tough one today. It's all about tackling. Shane, holding the man, holding the ball must be one of the toughest things for an umpire to decide.
Yeah, it most certainly is. The tackling the player in possession has been controversial for a number of years, actually, but we try to break it down to 3 simple categories. And firstly, that the tackle must be legal. That's a priority whenever we decide in a tackling situation. So the tackle must be legal. Secondly, if the tackle is legal, then the player with the ball must be given a reasonable time to dispose. Then thirdly, if he is given a reasonable time, then he is to be penalised if he doesn't get rid of the ball correctly.
OK, sounds simple enough. Let's have a look at some examples. And we go firstly to a very controversial decision. Remember this one? Football Park in Adelaide, John Platten and Tony McGuinness. It resulted in the goal. What do you think, Shane? Was Platten holding the ball or not?
I believe it's to be totally correct, actually, because John Platten in this instance here just took a dive forward when tackled. Here he is, barely tackled by McGuinness, but he just dived forward. And as soon as we note the position of the ball here, John Platten at no stage tried to punch the ball.
OK, so holding the ball, the correct decision.
Correct.
Wonderful tackle here by McDermott on McGuinness.
Oh, magnificent. That's what the game's all about. He just simply wouldn't let go. I think Scotty McGuinness thought he'd get away, but magnificent tackle, and in that case they're holding the ball, incorrect disposal, and advantage was paid, which was fantastic.
OK, a good decision there. We go to Subiaco, the game between West Coast and Melbourne. Greg Healy?
Yes, Greg Healy in this case here picked up the ball, then ducked his head straight into the West Coast Eagles players. There he's picked it up, saw him, ducked his head, and now the tackle is legal. Because he ducked his head, that contributed to the high tackle. Tackle was legal and therefore did not dispose of the ball correctly, holding the ball.
I reckon a few years ago they might have paid around the shoulder, but it seems to have changed for the better, I'm sure, because there's no good ducking your head in footy these days.
Well, that's correct. There are a number of areas which an umpire has to consider. Like if a player does duck his head, that is one. So if a player ducks his head and a tackle would have been legal otherwise, then that player is to get rid of the ball immediately.
OK, 3 holding the balls out. Now we'll get you a chance at home to make your decision on what's one of the most contentious rules in football, holding the ball or holding the man. Let's take a look at the first of them. And this is also from Football Park, and it's Ben Allen, and he's tackled by David Marshall.
That's
Tough
correct.
one there, Shane. I don't talk about that one. Allen's got possession. Marshall comes in strongly.
Oh, well, that's what the viewers say.
Yeah, that's a hard one. I wouldn't want to be umpiring. It's a lot easier when you get the slow motion replay up. But see Tommy Warhurst there. He reckons it's holding the ball. Now, this is Lawrence's tackle on David Marshall, who put the tackle on a moment ago. Now, was that too high? Did he ride him into the ground, or did Marshall have every chance to get rid of the footy?
I think the important thing to consider here are those 3 things we spoke about earlier.
OK, so we'll keep that in mind. And the third one, we'll go to the Subiaco Oval. And it's Glenn Lovett for the Demons. And Chris Mainwaring puts the tackle on Lovett. Now, did he push him in the back? Or was Lovett, in fact, holding the ball? Did he have plenty of time to get rid of it? Or did Mainwaring ride him into the ground? 3 pretty tough ones there. What do you think at home? Make your mind up. You've got a couple of minutes. We'll be back with the answers after the break. What's your decision? We're looking at holding the man, holding the ball, the tackling. We're joined by a man who's umpired 53 AFL games, Shane McDonald. Shane, the first of them was a tough one, I reckon. Ben Allen of Hawthorn and David Marshall of the Adelaide Crows. Was it holding the ball or was it over the shoulder?
Let's refer straight away there. Player Allen, as it says, player Allen simply looks up and ducks his head. And as soon as a player ducks his head, then if tackled legally, must get rid of the ball. In that case there, he was caught.
So that was holding the ball now?
Holding the ball.
OK, this is David Marshall, who was the tackler a moment ago, being tackled by Lawrence.
Well, straight back to that first point I spoke about before. Firstly, is the tackle legal? In this case, initially, hand over the shoulder. Left hand of the player Lawrence over the shoulder. So, therefore, has to be a high tackle before even considering anything else.
So Marshall's had a good match. He's had 2 free kicks. Now, love it. Was he holding the ball?
In this case here, yeah, definitely caught. Tried to evade the first player, second player nabbed him, and the tackle is legal, given a reasonable time, and then just simply threw the ball out.
OK, so 2 holding the balls and 1 over the shoulder. Wouldn't it be lovely if you could umpire with that video replay in your back pocket every week?
I wish we could. Maybe in 20 years' time we might be able to.
Shane, have a good year.
Thanks very much, Bruce.
Thanks for joining us on What's Your Decision. I hope you got them all right at home.
Good on you, Bruce. Bruce McAvaney with Shane McDonald. And at home, what was your decision? We're continuing our series on the AFL clubs now. The journey years ago, 45 miles to Geelong, was dreaded. But the Cats, of course, one of the original members of the league. Drew Morfitt looks at their history.
Although Geelong finished on the top of the ladder after the home and away series in 1897, the first year of the VFL, the club had to wait until 1925 before winning its first flag. This was the year the competition comprised 12 teams, following the admission of Hawthorn, Footscray and North Melbourne. Centreman Kaji Greaves was one of the stars, having won the first Brownlow medal the year before. A fitting win because the medal had been named after long-time Geelong administrator, the late Charles Brownlow. Geelong won another flag in 1931, reversing its second semi-final loss to Richmond. Interestingly, it was coach Charlie Climo's first and only year at the helm. In 1942 and 43, Geelong didn't compete in the VFL because of wartime travel restrictions and a shortage of players. Despite some objections from other clubs, the Cats returned in 1944 and literally had to pull players off the street to make up the numbers. Consequently, they won only 3 games in 2 seasons. But Geelong recovered quickly, and by the early 1950s, the team had blossomed into one of the greatest of all time. The Cats won the 1951 and 52 premierships and didn't lose a game from round 9 of the 52 season to round 13 of 53, in the process winning 25 matches and drawing 1. With Bob Davis as coach, the Cats next triumphed in 1963 by finishing all over Hawthorn in the final term. Geelong kicked 6-6 to 3 points, and with Farmer and Goggin combining brilliantly, the Cats won by 49 points. They reached the grand final again in 1967, but were beaten by Richmond in one of the great finals. Geelong had to wait another 22 years for another chance at a premiership and again featured in a classic encounter. The Cats played irresistible football in 1989. They kicked 8 goals to 3 in the last quarter before running out of time against Hawthorn. Gary Ablett's 9 goals equalled Gordon Coventry's 61-year-old grand final record, and it was the first grand final since 1914 in which the winner was outscored in 3 quarters.
And welcome back to the MCG. 28 points in favour of North Melbourne at half-time. Gerard Healy.
Thanks, Peter. Well, Robert Shaw was quite upset at half-time, particularly with the sloppy kicks that he thought was costing them goals. He wants more pressure on North's running players and a bit more from the forwards.
Thank you, Gerard. And play just about to get underway once more. Players have taken up their positions, so here we go for the second half. The third quarter begins at the MCG with North Melbourne leading by 28 points. They kicked 6-4 to 3-1 during the second term after leading by 7 points at the first change. Ironmonger tries to get it to McGrath. Schwass beats him to it. The bouncing ball goes out towards the edge of the square. Ramiro, Dundas, who started warming the bench tonight, but since he came on has really played well for the Lions. Picked up by Broderick. The centering kick by him finds Wine, one of their better, smaller players. He's been very busy around the ground. Martin leads in the race for the ball. Cannons into Broderick, who I think comes off second best. A very solid clash. Brayshaw runs into his teammate in Larkin. Good tackle by Caven. Gallagher, the running Rock at midfield. The pass towards left half forward. I don't think it came off the boot as cleanly as he would have liked. Longmire gets taken out of it. And a good kick for the Lions to get the ball away as Baldwin. Noble. Brayshaw in front. And Osborne takes the ball to the line.
I don't think Carey's out there at the start of this second. Oh, yeah, he made full forward. He's been moved down to full forward. And Sean Smith playing at centre half forward alongside John McCarthy.
Ironmonger and Gallagher. Tap down to Rock, who gives it to Larkin. Matthew Larkin from the left half-back flank, kicks to midfield. Smith with the hand pass to the South Australian Staritsky. Ramiro in the back, is it? You would have to say yes, and Jose will get the free kick at left half forward.
Well, that was a poor tackle, wasn't it, Dennis? A very poor tackle. I'm sorry, that was Johnny Longmire at full forward. I think Carey is off the ground. But that was a very poor tackle there applied by Jason Baldwin. And maybe that was a... oh, that is Carey at full forward. I was right the first time. So playing alongside each other, Carey and Longmire.
Longmire from 50 metres out. Has it got the carry? Yes, it has. It's a goal. Bad defence. Nobody back. One-out contest in the goal square.
Well, that's where the ruckman is needed. Johnny Longmire, the ruckman there for Fitzroy. Here's the replay of the mark. A good kick by Ramiro, finding Longmire on the lead. And let's have a look at that kick right from the 50-metre line. And not good enough by the Fitzroy defenders. Longmire able to do the shepherding and keep Paxman out of the contest.
Longmire with 5 goals. Gallagher wins it down for North. Elliott goes off the ground. Lyon tried to do likewise. This is Ironmonger. Scrambles it towards half forward. Staritsky held without it. He'll get the free kick. Advantage paid. Spargo comes away. Poor kick. Gained about 15 metres. Dwyer back towards Spargo. Well played. Fairly in the open. 70 metres from goal. Looking for Longmire. Fisted away on the second attempt there by Lynch. German slips over. Gives it off to Rock. Inside 50 now. Draws a man, gets it to Ramiro. Ramiro standing start from 35 up. Longmire not paid. Carey off the ground.
So Carey's first goal, and North Melbourne by weight of numbers playing 2 full forwards, it would seem at the moment. 13-8 to 7-4.
Yes, well, probably Carey not 100% fit. You can see him grimacing there with that left arm. He went off and the doctor had a look at it earlier on. I thought that was a mark. Very unlucky, John Longmire, not to be awarded that mark, but it didn't matter in the end because Carey kicked the goal off the ground.
North Melbourne reasserting supremacy, 86 to 46, the biggest difference we've had tonight. 40 points in favour of the rules. Is that holding the ball? It is. Stevens to take the free kick. Brett Stevens, long to half forward. Is that holding the ball? Osborne nearly took the mark and then was nearly penalised. Martin with a short kick under pressure, tries for Gallagher and gets him out wide with the hand pass. Staritsky was the target. Caven late on the scene. And it's a real scramble. Finding the ball shuffled out the back to the running Larkin. German kicking from right half back. He goes up to midfield. Wine gets the bounce. 2-on-1 in favour of North Melbourne. Fairley with the spoil effectively, and Dundas would have to get a free kick.
Dundas has done very well, Peter, since he came on. 11 kicks, no handballs, but started off on the bench.
Dundas, 65 metres out from goal. And the advantage rule being paid after that marking infringement. North Melbourne's kick. Rock will take it. And Rock kicks towards midfield. Spargo knocks the ball away late from Lyon. But Lyon will take the kick at centre field. Short to Dundas. That's kick number 13. He has done well. 2 on Wielden. Gets the front posse. That's not a bad sort of a snapshot. And in fact, it's a goal. That was Harding. 13-8 to 8-4.
Yes, well done by the young bloke. Playing in only his second game.
His second goal too, Bernie.
Second goal in AFL football, only 19 years of age. And Dean Harding snapping that one around his body. Set up there by Wielden, who's really attacking the ball hard at full forward. And Harding doing the roving and finishing it off.
Back in the centre, Wine has it in front, goes off the ground towards half forward. Caven takes the mark. Outside 50. Fitzroy showing plenty of enterprise. Long kick, Wielden in from the side. Well, how did he finish up with that?
Tremendous mark, wasn't it?
It was hard, that one.
He's certainly shown something tonight, Darren Wielden. He has shown in the past that he can kick goals. I remember he kicked 7 goals in a match up on the Gold Coast. But tonight his movement around the goal face, his attack on the ball has been excellent.
That was uncanny. He's kicked his 4th goal. So Fitzroy worked their way back into this. They're 9-4, North Melbourne are 13-8.
Well, if Richard Osborne could produce something along those lines, as we see that mark again over Brett Allison. Allison not strong enough on that defensive part of his game there, trying to knock the ball away. And Wielden had eyes only for the ball, getting away there from Michael Martin, worrying him with his pace and his agility. And he's playing very well at full forward. As I said, 6 centimetres shorter than Michael Martin. But his pace and his movement certainly worrying him.
So the margin back to 28 points as it was at the half. Gallagher and Ironmonger. As the time remaining, Ironmonger, a big fist, gains about 15 metres. Storitsky, a high kick back through the centre. McCarthy has been quiet. Lays it off to Rock. On centre wing, chips it out wide. Coming up to meet the ball was Longmire, who was holding on to Lynch that time. So they'll call it the way of the full back on this occasion.
And Alistair Lynch, the Fitzroy vice-captain, gets it over to Paul Roos. Wind in front of Spargo. And the little rover kicks to Noble. Couldn't take the mark. Blakey giving him good backup support from the back. Martin fits the ball well clear. North Melbourne through weight of numbers. And Scholl just about got coat hanging. Not too much doubt about that being a free kick. Temper's becoming a little bit frayed.
Very untidy.
Yeah, very crude, I was going to say, Dennis. And Fitzroy, a couple of those tackles in this term. Dundas should have gone low, like we see the rugby tackles applied, where the players go for the waist.
Smith taking the hand pass from Schwass. Longmire on a lead and marks in front of Lynch. Not too much he could do about that. Longmire has already kicked 5 and a real good chance of making it number 6.
Well, it's very easy playing at full forward when you get kicks like that. But Fitzroy not getting back in numbers to fill up that forward line of North Melbourne, and certainly Johnny Longmire on the lead is unstoppable.
Night football specialists, the Roos. They continue to do it well. Number 6. 14-8 to 9-4 now from the MCG. 92 plays 58.
And since quarter time, North Melbourne going away. They've got on top across the centre of the ground. Longmire doing well on the forward line, along with Carey, who's now up there. He's kicked 1 goal for this term. And with the 2 players playing on that forward line, it's making it very difficult for Fitzroy to man up.
Lyons got the run of it alongside the centre circle, pushing it out towards the wing. McCarthy robbed him of the ball. Good shepherd by Rock, cleared a path. McCarthy to Ramiro. He knocked it on intelligently to former Tasmanian. Now it's back with Rock. Good football by North. Gallagher or McCarthy. McCarthy's got it. Back to Rock. Now it needs a kick. Rock on the 50. Goes in short. Longmire at the second attempt.
Oh, that's enormous football by North Melbourne. Rock getting that short pass to Longmire. Longmire leading with confidence. He knows the players will look for him. Rock under a little bit of a pressure there. Longmire out in front. Alistair Lynch doing everything possible to knock the ball away.
Very precise by the Kangaroos. Longmire gets his 7th. John Longmire, who won the Coleman medal last season with 98 goals at 19, the youngest winner of that medal, has 7 tonight. His best performance on the season.
There's 7 goals won, so his kicking for goal has been excellent. Hasn't wasted opportunities. And he is kicking the goals from around about the 35-40 metre mark tonight. Not getting too far out from goal. The ball is being delivered with precision into the forward line. And Longmire, as I said, leading with confidence.
7 goals to John Longmire. North Melbourne's 15th. 40 points the difference once again. Wine leading Rock to half forward. The punch away was legal, says the umpire. Scholl. Rock slips over at the crucial moment. Ironmonger. Back to Wine. That's the long and the short of it. That's not a bad mark. If he's played it, he has to Dundas. Ross Lyon telling him where to go. Some tall timber needed down there. Staritsky taps the ball. The snapshot by Harding, who's kicked 2, is off target. Kicked their last goal. Harding with a brilliant snap. 15-8 to 9-5 was the score. Allison to kick in. Fairley, who's had a stint on the bench tonight. Tries for Gallagher. Went up one-handed. And they are indeed hard to mark like that. Gallagher kicks it off the ground. Dundas went in solidly. Didn't come out with the ball. Oh, Ironmonger also tried off the ground. Broderick does well, but then slips over again. So North Melbourne purely through weight of numbers. Sean Smith to centre wing or to centre field. Marking contest. There was none there. Lyon to Blakey. Straight down the ground. That's a good kick. Oh, that's an excellent mark. Wheeldon, good use of the body and certainly proving a good focal point up in front of goals.
Yes, that man again, Darren Wheeldon. Plenty of movement on the forward line. Michael Martin getting there late and making him earn that mark, but Darren Wheeldon causing Michael Martin a few headaches.
He's kicked 4 goals so far, and it would be a very valuable one for Fitzroy if he can convert this. Within kicking distance, it's a shocker. And kicks out of bounds on the full. Well, the ball becoming pretty slippery. And he's not happy with his efforts. But a great mark. It really did deserve better. Gallagher, Ironmonger. Wins out Larkin. Spargo. Boot the ball pretty quickly. Will it sit for German? It does. German onto Ramiro. He's been very useful up on the forward line and around the packs. Longmire, there is a whistle. It's going to be a free kick to Fitzroy, and North Melbourne supporters, as you no doubt heard, loud in their disapproval of that as Wine takes the hand pass at half-back.
Towards the outer side, relayed free kick. Longmire a stride or 2 late, says the umpire.
Well, I think Jimmy Wine made it look worse than it really was there, but John Longmire hardly touching him.
Roos has the ball on the outer side, nevertheless. Long towards half forward. Gallagher over the top. The fist came from North Melbourne. There's Carey getting back in defence there. This is Larkin. Spargo through midfield towards half forward, kicking for space. Lynch led Longmire in the race to the ball and fisted away McCarthy. He's busier in this term. Dwyer dragged off the kick, gained about 20 metres. Ramiro has been very dangerous. McCarthy got it to German, shrugs a tackle from 40 metres out. Peter German misses to the left-hand side. McCarthy hardly sighted in the first half.
That was Brett Stevens playing on him in that first half. I think he's still picking him up in the third quarter, but he's doing a very good job, Brett Stevens. But McCarthy can drift out of the game for long parts of it and really should do more.
Paxman kicked it in. Blakey was held without it. He'll get the free kick. 15-9 to 9-5. So the next goal vital for Fitzroy. John Blakey from half back towards the centre of the ground. Roos is in front, almost the clever mark. It runs behind. Roos was held without it. He'll get the free kick.
I think they've made a move here too, Dennis. It looks like Paul Roos playing on the half forward line, and Richard Osborne has been moved to the half back line to try to get him into the play.
Here's Roos, a little indecisive. Goes down towards Wielden again. Brayshaw over the top, couldn't hang on. What's the decision? It's going to be a Brayshaw mark, is it? Gee, pretty lucky.
Well, the umpire, I think the only one seeing that decision, Dennis, because gee, it didn't look like a mark to me.
What he played there, Schwass took the hand pass from Brayshaw anyway. The umpire's the only one that knows that answer. 3 Fitzroy players and 1 North player converge on it, and no one was going anywhere with that. It will be a bounce at centre wing. 12 minutes and a bit left in the term.
Strange move that, Pete. Richard Osborne to the half back line.
Well, he hasn't been in the play, Bernie, as you pointed out.
No, he's been completely down on form, playing without confidence, but I thought maybe on the wing or in the centre where he could have run and used his pace to get into the game.
Slapped over the line by Baldwin. So he has Sean Smith as an opponent now. Richard Osborne, Ironmonger and Gallagher had a great battle tonight. Ironmonger, I think, has taken the honours at most of them. Gallagher wins that one. Larkin gets front position. Dundas couldn't take the ball out of the pack, and we'll go through it all again. Difference at half-time was 28 points. North Melbourne have extended that in this quarter. So another bounce. Just on Fitzroy's side of half forward or centre wing. Gallagher. Spargo first to get there. And so the ball locked up on centre wing. North Melbourne probably gaining about 15 metres after that. Same ruckman, same result. That's a good knockout by Gallagher. He'll get it to German off the ground, and he's put it out of bounds as well. So North Melbourne manfully working it towards their goal. It's now at their left half forward flank. Quite cool in Melbourne now, temperature 12 degrees. Ironmonger and Gallagher. Line ball, that one. Wind and Dundas. Dundas takes it over the line. Dennis Cometti might be able to get it away from the wing.
See what we can do. Just over 10 minutes remaining till three-quarter time. 15-9 to 9-5. Gallagher got it down decisively to Spargo. Rock swoops on it, pulls it back across his body. Carey on the lead. Great football, North.
Well, they've got 2 targets on that forward line, Carey or Longmire. So it's making it very tough for the Fitzroy defenders. Paxman picking up Carey and Alistair Lynch playing on John Longmire.
Carey nursing a sore arm. Will kick from about 40 metres out. Just to extend the lead. He's missed to the right. North 15-10, bring up their century. Fitzroy 9-5. Alistair Lynch. Slightly members side with a kick. And a good mark is taken in front by Paxman.
He's looked all right tonight too, Dennis. He's shown a lot of promise.
Kicks it out wide. Intelligent kick into the path of Osborne. They've got the numbers here, Fitzroy. Larkin does well, reaching in, knocks it out of bounds. Osborne should have done better there.
Well, that just shows how he is playing at the moment, Richard Osborne, because he waited for the ball to come to him. And with his pace, he could have marked that ball without any problems on the chest.
Ball slapped down. Brayshaw. And again, it's out of bounds. Right half forward flank for the Roys. Under 9 minutes left in this quarter.
I don't know whether Osborne's 100% fit. He's just not moving like the Richard Osborne of old.
No, he's not, is he? The captaincy has taken its toll on him. Brayshaw very nearly caught with the ball. Did well to get a kick at it in the end. Lyon and Spargo. Lyon tries to get it out to Dundas. Noble gets it back to him. That was close to a throw. That's not the siren. Blakey to Train. They keep going. This could be a goal for Fitzroy. The snapshot by Baldwin looks pretty good, and he's put it through for full points. 15-10 to 10-5. 65 plays 100 in the third quarter.
Yes, good play there by Caven. Knocking that ball onto Baldwin. Matthew Dundas, the initial hand pass. John Blakey a little bit slow with the kick, but Caven knew he was in a lot of trouble. Fairly breathing down his neck. And a good tap on to Jason Baldwin running past. And Fitzroy finally getting something to happen in this third term.
Fitzroy's 10th goal, kicked by Baldwin. 65 now, plays 100. Blakey, good tackle on Rock. The ball spills free and socket off the ground towards the edge of the square. A whistle, a Fitzroy free kick. It's going to Noble.
So you don't agree with that, Dennis?
Tough decision.
Oh, he was all over him. Had to pay the free kick.
Chasing the ball, he was, Storitsky.
Roos couldn't take the mark. Brayshaw will try to get it to German. And there is a free kick. That will be taken by Brayshaw.
Gee, these two don't look too good. I think it's Paul Roos, is it?
Neither player looks good out there.
Paul Roos and maybe Scholl. I think Roosie's okay, but Scholl's still in the hands of the trainers, laying on the ground.
Allison kicks to centre wing, will keep her eye on them. Spargo, good hand pass. The recipient is Peter German. And German running briskly downfield. Oh, that's a strong mark. Craig Shaw looks to be okay. McCarthy at the other end of the ground will kick from about 55 metres out. His 5th kick. Yet to score a goal. Longmire making the lead. Lynch wearing him closely. Now he doubles back again. Still no change in his thoughts though. McCarthy from about 52 metres. Touched by Ironmonger. Tallest man on the ground and one behind. 101 North Melbourne's total. 15-11 Fitzroy 10-5. This is the injury to Roos and Scholl. Or to Sandwich.
Well, I think his own man got in there. Ian Fairley coming the other way, Pete.
Dundas from half back meantime, boots it out towards half forward. Noble battling with Storitsky, and the pair force the ball out of bounds. Just under 6.5 minutes remaining in this third term. Try as they might, Fitzroy can't get much closer than the current margin. North started well, skipped away. They led by 28 points at half-time. Storitsky out of the congestion. Elliott fisting away. McGrath inside the attacking 50. Wielden, great attempt to mark. Harding from 40 metres out, pulls it back. Foot race back towards the boundary line. How will it bounce? Scholl camped underneath it. It bounces out of bounds. And we'll have a throw in alongside the behind post. Plenty of application tonight, certainly from Fitzroy. But North have had the finesse. Clean possession. Wielden snaps. He's got it. What a great goal that is.
He's kicked 5. I'm sure the Sports World panel will be looking at that as one of the goals of the day. Or round 15-11 to 11-5.
There's a sensational goal there by Darren Wielden. He's a player who has the ability to make something out of nothing. And he's done it on a number of occasions tonight. And a couple of good snap goals. He's just so lively in the forward line. Took the opportunity to take that from the throw in and quickly onto the boot. A magnificent effort.
5 goals to Darren Wielden, reduces the deficit now to only 30 points. On the shoulder, says the umpire. It's a Fitzroy free kick. It'll be taken by John Ironmonger. If it's possible to hit John on the shoulder, he's that tall. Ironmonger, good long kick to half forward. Scholl punches clear. Allison. Oh, he runs into Harding. German. I think the word finesse was used before, wasn't it? We've got plenty of that, North Melbourne. Staritsky on to Brayshaw. And playing with a lot of confidence. This time Osborne. The captain doesn't waste the kick. Dundas in front of Dwyer. Dundas at midfield. Osborne again. Drifting down the field.
Well, this must be the plan from Robert Shaw to have Richard Osborne attacking off that half-back line. As you can see, he's had only 5 kicks and 3 handballs, which is not a lot.
Gallagher off, Angus on for North Melbourne. And there's where the goals are, Richard Osborne. Just outside 50. Oh, it missed by about half a metre. Behind to Fitzroy, kicked by their captain, Richard Osborne. 29 points is the difference now, 15-11 to 11-6. The Fitzroy box looks on interestedly. Allison with the kick in. Noble with the punch away from Staritsky. He's got support down there from Elliott. The ball's miraculously kept in play. Wielden went for a better angle, didn't deliver the ball as he would have liked, but still in Fitzroy's attacking area. Wielden again to Lyon, and that's out of bounds. So North Melbourne get it away from the danger zone, and it will be a throw-in pretty well close to centre wing, actually between half forward and centre wing on the member stand side of the ground. Over the top was Caven. Rock with the hurried hand pass. Dwyer on the end of it. Will kick to half forward, and that surely would be 50 metres. Paxman has taken the mark. Nothing forward from the umpire. So Fitzroy get clear. Baldwin, who's already kicked a goal himself tonight. 2 North Melbourne players probably spoiled each other there, but they have the numbers. Martin goes inboard. Wine gets offloaded. Larkin breaks clear.
Gets it across to Schwass. Forward of centre. Not a good kick though. Paxman goes back and takes the tumbling mark.
As I said, Dennis, he's been very good, Paxman, in that last line of defence now, picking up Wayne Carey. 5 marks and 6 kicks, but he's played very tight.
North by 29 points. This is Rock in trouble. Made it difficult for Chandler. Tentatively off the ground, Osborne. Chandler does well, knocks it out towards the boundary. Meantime, there's going to be a free kick to North. Chandler at left half back will take it. Short to Smith. Gained about 15 metres if that. Sean Smith, left half back. Through centre towards half forward. Ironmonger, timely fist. Rock likewise knocks it back in North's direction. Paxman again, flicked off the ground by Lyon. Called a throw. That's tough.
Well, the umpire was very close onto that one, so he had a good view of that one, Dennis.
Rock gave it to Spargo, in turn to Smith. Long mark. Well, can certainly have an impact, that sort of free kick. Momentum going one way. Suddenly all the players caught forward of the ball for Fitzroy. Turned the game around. They were running back, and this is how it ended up.
Yes, well, what can you say? You called that perfectly. There's nothing more. Johnny Longmire finishing it off with a good mark. Just out-manoeuvring Alistair Lynch.
And his 8th goal. It's close. It's a goal. 8 goals to John Longmire. And North stretched their lead, 16-11 to 11-6.
Yes, 8 goals, kicked almost half North Melbourne score. John Longmire playing at full forward. But that free kick awarded by the umpire, as Dennis said, very important because it suddenly changed the flow of play and plenty of room on the North Melbourne forward line for Johnny Longmire to lead into.
So the Kangaroos resisting the challenges. Every time Fitzroy have threatened, North have tended to get the next goal. Ironmonger wins it down. Larkin stood his ground, dragged off it by Lyon. Blakey goes off the ground towards the outer side wing. Staritsky's got it now. Towards right half forward, it's a foot race. Paxman going out there against Carey. Paxman towards the boundary line. And I think he's content with that. Clock continues to run. It's down to 1:10 remaining in this 3rd term. Ironmonger has battled hard for them tonight. Up against Angus. Angus knocked it about 25 metres. Rock close to the boundary line. Pulls it back. No, he was out of bounds. So the ball will be thrown in.
Well, if you can lip read, you'll be able to guess his thoughts on that one. I don't think he was too happy. Angus will contest the boundary throw-in with Ironmonger. Ironmonger slaps it down. Rock at the bottom of it again. Osman is covering plenty of territory in this quarter. Picked up by Elliott. Two North Melbourne players are there. Staritsky is the first to arrive. Good slap on by Angus. Looped it over the back of his head. Sean Smith. You have to get it out quickly if you dive on it. It's Paxman down there at the bottom of it. Sean Smith, the last to get up, and it will be a bounce. Maybe a rough chance for North if he bounces it quickly. Ironmonger went for the boundary line, wind, a quick kick up towards half-back. Lyon streaming downfield, but there's the siren for three-quarter time, with North Melbourne holding a lead of 107 to 72. Looking at a nightmare, a tipster's nightmare this week. It'd be pretty hard to pick the card, wouldn't it? Hawthorn on the west coast, Essendon, Carlton, St Kilda, Adelaide, Melbourne, Brisbane on Saturday, and on Sunday two further games, Sydney and Geelong, Footscray and Richmond. Collingwood has the bye. Round 7 in the AFL, exclusive to 7 Sport. Check your local guides. Here at three-quarter time, 16-11-107 North Melbourne, kicking 5-3 in that quarter against Fitzroy's 4-2, and they lead by 35 points. So North Melbourne outscoring Fitzroy in every quarter so far. Robert Shaw, having just finished addressing his players. Wayne Schimmelbusch having a few words. And don't forget, another big weekend of sport. Sports World on Sunday at 9 o'clock in every state except Adelaide, when it goes to air at 8:30. Bruce McAvaney leading the team with a complete wrap of the week in sport. And the Australian Touring Car Championship. We move into round 5 at Winton in northern Victoria on Sunday, May 7:05 this Sunday. Of course, check your local guide for details of coverage exclusive to 7 Sports. And Robert Shaw just having a few words while I said that to the umpires.
Yes, he didn't go inside the centre square. He walked across to the line and obviously was trying to catch their eye, and I think had a bit to say from a distance. They didn't acknowledge that he'd spoken to them.
Well, we may hear more about that. I'm sure that last goal, or that decision that led to that goal from John Longmire, would have prompted that, if we could call it an outburst. The statistics are 3/4 time, and Bernie, the kick's almost a line ball.
Yes, almost a line ball, the kicks, but look at the handballs. North Melbourne have doubled, in fact, Fitzroy's usage of the ball by hand. Head-outs 25 to 28, so Gallagher getting back on even terms here with Johnny Ironmonger, and they're also winning the ball out of the middle, North Melbourne.
There's 1 minute to go, so they won't bounce the ball. That's one of the silly things.
The other thing, Peter, Fitzroy aren't getting much across the half-forward line. Osborne played there early on. Paul Roos started there as Bob Ansett and Ron Casey, a couple of the North Melbourne directors. But as I was saying, Fitzroy really do have to lift across that half-forward line to have any sort of chance.
Gerard Healy's itching to get out into the action himself. Angus to start in the ruck for the Roos in this quarter. So they all broke up from 3/4 time a little bit too quickly. And they have to take their allotted break. Now we're right. Take 2. 35 points the difference at the MCG. North Melbourne leading Fitzroy, as they have done at every change. Ironmonger gets the ball down. Not away from the circle initially. Elliott applies the tackle. It might have been illegal. A push in the back, says the umpire. It will be a North Melbourne free kick to start proceedings. And Spargo will have to go back over the mark to take it. Spargo just wide of the circle. Angus in front. It's the hand pass out to Carey. Lynch in hot pursuit. So Longmire could be unguarded. That's a magnificent kick at goal, just the same, and through for full points. Superb stuff. 17-11 to 11-6.
Well, an untidy hand pass in the first place there, coming from Warwick Angus. But, Fitzroy not picking up their men very well here. Carey was picked up by Paxman in that third quarter. It would have been a simple goal had the handball from Angus been on target, but Carey doing very well in the finish to snap that one across his body.
I think we'll be putting that one in our goals of the week too, Bernie.
Well, Richard Osborne playing on him now.
Yes, he found a lot of space, didn't he, Carey? Back in the middle, just the start the Lions didn't need.
They need a lift, don't they, Dennis, from their 2 key players. The captain, Richard Osborne, and their former captain, Paul Roos, has had a quiet night also.
17-11, 11-6. Ironmonger. Rock's got the run of it. Still he goes, Rock, running away from his own goal. Storitsky draws a man, goes over the top. This is Allison, the defensive side of centre wing. Little chip pass between the lines. Ramiro comes up, couldn't hang on. It forced to Spargo. Ooh. He's been impressive. He copped one high as he hand passed it out. They battle after the ball. McGrath's in there. Schwass has got him, and the umpire wants it. Bounce down towards right half forward for North Melbourne. Still very still here at the MCG. Ironmonger got it down. Chandler with a lot of courage. Wynd, who's been busy. Blakey close to the boundary line. Grabbed off his boot by Larkin. Blakey goes back and gets him. The ball's out of bounds, and Larkin and Blakey go on with it. So it's getting a little ill-tempered, and now Blakey's going to get a free kick.
Well,
don't know why.
You're right, I don't either, because it was 6 of one and half a dozen the other there.
He must have looked more passive. The kick comes down towards half forward. Harding kicks inside the attacking 50. Martin comes up to meet it, will go off the ground, missed it. Storitsky taken high, surely. It's going to be a free kick to the North defender. Storitsky up towards half back. There's Noble. He's standing the mark. They can change the direction here. Sturitsky goes across the ground. Brayshaw. Short again to Scholl. They can really set it up from here. Scholl inside the centre square marginally. Kicks towards half forward. McCarthy with the leap. Got a fist on it. Ramiro favoured by the bouncing ball. Still he goes on the attacking 50 for North. Tries to get it out. Penalised for holding the ball, if you don't mind. And the ball will come back.
One of those ones that we're always talking about, Dennis.
It was wedged against somebody's leg, wasn't it?
And in the end, he did handball it out, a short hand pass.
Baldwin kicks towards midfield. Ironmonger tries to knock it on. Brayshaw goes off the ground. Blakey's got it now. Tackled front on by Smith. Back comes Brayshaw.
Still they can't get it out of the middle. Sean Smith finally kicks the ball across his body. Lynch gets there first, leading Ironmonger. He wouldn't want to slip over because Ironmonger was right behind him. Oh! A big leap out there by McCarthy. He didn't come down with the ball. Osborne had it and then lost it. Elliott does the tidying up work for Fitzroy. Harding got a handle on it. And Allison slips over. It's getting pretty slippery out there. Sturitsky just off the edge of the centre square. Kicks to half forward, full forward. Lynch playing in front of his opponent. McGrath. One-on-one duel out on centre wing. Chandler. Larkin with a deft hand pass. Spargo onto Schwartz. Schwartz right on 50. Long kick will go close to goal. And off target. Through for only one behind. A valiant attempt to mark by Sean Smith, but I think he was over the line anyway. 17-12. The North Melbourne tally. And Lynch. Great battle on Longmire. Longmire, you'd have to say, has taken the honours with 8 goals. But it really has been bombarded down there on many occasions. That's a good kick. Schwartz up high. Rock very busy around the ground tonight. Chips the ball. Smith, oh, he's off.
He was off all right, Pete.
Dead set. He took a pace. If you see it on replay, you'll see.
I think if the Fitzroy defender had gone out and attacked him and made it look as if he was really off, I think the umpire would have called play on. But the Fitzroy inexperience showing out there, the players not forcing the issue.
Longmire coming off the ground. He's running off, so hopefully not a bad sign. Sean Smith, meanwhile, kicks at goal and kicks straight for a goal. 18-12 to 11-6. Sean Smith's second goal. And Longmire did have an injury problem earlier in the year. The way he ran off the ground, I would suggest that purely a precautionary measure, because he's kicked 8 and North Melbourne seemingly with the game well and truly in its keeping. He'll be rugging up. Back into the centre. Schwartz gets it from the bounce and kicks to half forward. Wind and Rock. There is a whistle and it will be a free kick to Jimmy Wind. He'll take that at the right half-back flank.
He's a real goer, Jimmy Wind. Probably Fitzroy's best player tonight. 23
possessions to him. Lynch on the burst, kicking towards half forward, ill-directed. Chandler goes back, takes the mark. North led by 7 points at quarter time, 28 at the half, and 35 at three-quarter time. Chandler from half back towards half forward, carries the target, outnumbered, fisted away. McGrath's got it. Floats one down towards half forward. Back goes Angus. Plays on immediately, Chandler, but he was forward of the mark. He had marked it, but then ran away. He retrieved it, but played on from there. Now he goes across the ground. Sturitsky, he's been lively in defence, gets it to German. German left half forward. McCarthy, look out. Osborne should have tackled him. McCarthy from 35 metres out. Poor kick, misses to the left-hand side.
Well, Richard Osborne again, he had the chance to apply a tackle and decided to, well, I don't know whether you could call it a bump, Dennis. It was a very crude tackle.
A lunge. Longmire down on the bench there. Hope he's okay. He's kicked 8 tonight. I doubt we'll see him back. This is German. As Peter said, he did run off the ground. Sturitsky taken front on by Board. Great tackle. German again, forward of centre wing. Kicks inside the attacking 50. Carey. About 10 metres in from the boundary.
Same spot he kicked that great goal.
Well, I think Paxman was doing a good job on Carey. I think I would have left him left Paxman on Carey and maybe put Osmond on Smith as they were in that third quarter. I don't see there is any reason to change those players around.
Carey kicking at his third. This to make the margin 55 points if it's a goal. Slides it across the face. Oh, Sean Smith, he can really take a mark. What a beauty.
Yes, can he ever? I'd say for his centimetres, I was going to say inches, centimetres these days. And he is not over tall, Sean Smith, 184 centimetres, but he can get up there with the best of them.
Rock's got it now from the short pass to improve the angle.
There's that mark again, Sean Smith. That is a fantastic effort against the big blokes in the goal square. He jumped all over the top of them.
Rock's kicked 2 goals. Under 18 minutes remaining in the game. And Rock should get this one. He'll kick from about 30 metres out on a 45-degree angle. It's straight. North move further in front now. North Melbourne 19-13, Fitzroy 11-6.
It's doing it very easy in this final term. Fitzroy yet to score. We're 9.5 minutes into the quarter and Fitzroy struggling to get the ball past the half-forward line. The North Melbourne runners taking over completely. And the Fitzroy lack of experience really coming into it at the moment.
Back into the centre. No one succeeded in getting it out. That was Rock's third goal. Stevens finally kicks the ball across his body and he's found Noble short of the centre half forward position with the hand pass. Elliott, you've got to push in the back there. Ruse, Melbourne not in possession, but still the umpire calls play on. Now a free kick on the shoulder is going North Melbourne's way and it will be taken by Martin. Michael Martin just up from the back pocket. Line got the front position. Ball hacked out of mid-air to centre wing, and it will be out of bounds. In front of Osmond and Carey, who's kicked 2 goals tonight, one of which was a real gem. John Longmire, their leading goal kicker, he has 8, but he's off the ground at the moment. Gallagher gets the front position from Ironmonger. Down goes Spargo. I think the most sensible thing the umpire could do would be to ball it up again.
And the word from Gerard down there on the bench is they're talking knee with regard to John Longmire. Hope it's okay.
Well, he did run off the ground, but did look a little proppy. I'm sure if it was serious, they would have taken him straight to the rooms. Ironmonger from Lyon. Brayshaw, a juggle. Not paid by the umpire, might have been harsh. Now, was that a throw? Lynch. Over the back, Wheeldon. And the ball rushed over the boundary line by Allison for a boundary throw-in. Just next to the behind post. With Justin Staritsky behind him. And it's going to be a throw-in, as I said, right next to the behind post. Lynch with his opposite number 11, Angus. Noble just couldn't quite control it at the crucial moment. Match becoming pretty untidy. Well, that was a high tackle, the kick from Romero, and Ross Lyon will take the free kick within kicking distance.
It's been a good battle, that one, Pete. Ross Lyon playing on Spargo. They've played each other fairly closely, which is good to see from the centremen. They're doing the defensive things that they need to do as well, both real goers.
Lyon coming in for kick number 12. Should be a score. Fitzroy supporters hoping for a goal. They're 12th. The goal umpire hasn't moved much. It's through. So Fitzroy's first goal of the final quarter, kicked by Ross Lyon, 19-13 to 12-6 at the MCG.
In fact, Fitzroy's first score for the quarter too, coming from Ross Lyon at almost the 12.5 minute mark, as we see that free in replay. No doubt about it. Spargo, Paul Spargo, playing very close to Ross Lyon and defending well, but just the tackle slipping a little bit high.
North by 49 points. Off the ground by Stevens. Brayshaw could have been held without it. Spargo has done well tonight. Kicks it out wide. And the ball runs out of bounds.
Fitzroy just haven't had the players to provide the leadership tonight, Dennis, have they?
No.
They need some spark, and they just haven't got it there. Richard Osman, the player that they're relying on, the captain, should be doing the things, and he's just going along with the flow of the game, playing without confidence at the moment. Paul Roos started off on the half-back line, and not the Paul Roos of old either, so he's ended up on the half-forward line. But these players, the players at Fitzroy, really need to come good, just not showing the way.
And of course, I guess it's fair to say, Bernie, those senior players would be feeling the pressure both on and off the field now. Testing time for the club, so much expected of those sorts of players. And it really is a test of them. You can't afford a down night, otherwise it probably starts to erode your confidence. This is Ironmonger. Lyon met solidly by Larkin. Down he went. In goes Allison. Knocked forward by Dundas. Board kept it alive. McGrath couldn't control it. Ramiro did well. Upended Staritsky. They cannon into him, and it's a relayed free kick. Well, I thought they got him as he was kicking.
Well, a bit harsh there, Dennis, I think, from the umpire. It's good to see players doing the hard sort of things, and yet the umpire not allowing that to happen.
Spargo's free kick down towards half forward, knocked on by Carey. Opportunity for German. A runner inside, he won't need him. German 35 metres out, has kicked another one for North. North get their 20th goal, 2013 to 12-6.
4 goals coming in this term to North Melbourne. That one from the boot of Peter German. The first goal for him for the night. And the North Melbourne runners taking over. They have a lot of class players playing on the ball across the centre line. And once they get the run on, they are very hard to stop.
Peter German's first goal. Gallagher wins it from the centre. Spargo and Stevens clash. Lyon. German again, who kicked the previous goal, goes out wide. McCarthy. North could build something on this too. Spargo. Chandler, who gave him the hand pass originally. Kicks inside 50 fairly. Haven't seen too much of him tonight. Baldwin hooks the ball across his body. Ironmonger, after Allison missed the mark. Lyon. Brayshaw missed it. That'll be a free kick for a trip. Ramiro from German. Dummies the hand pass. Left-footed by Schwartz. Sean Smith can't bring off the miraculous mark this time. Touched and out of bounds next to the behind post. 12 minutes left in the match. Percentage booster from North. To Fitzroy's credit, they've been much more competitive than they were last week. Carey tried a snapshot after was knocked down by Gallagher. Caven. Kicks to centre wing. McGrath. 2 Fitzroy players are there. Lynch. Well tackled. That was a beautiful tackle by Angus. Schwartz has kept the ball in play, but only just. Board. A hurried hand pass. Dundas. Yet another kick. Noble. Kept it in play, but only momentarily. And out of bounds right on 50.
It was a great tackle a moment ago by Warwick Angus. I think if a coach was teaching players how to tackle, he'd show that tackle. It was just magnificent. He went for the waist and didn't allow Lynch any chance.
Roos and shot and Sparko. It's getting cold. Nice balk by Baldwin. The snapshotted goal wasn't quite as good though, and that's out of bounds on the full. Gerard Healy on the boundary line has some news on John Longmire. Gerard?
Well, John Longmire hobbled off, and the doctor immediately checked his left lateral ligament and left lateral cartilage of his knee. If I had to take a quick guess, I'd say he possibly has a pinched lateral cartilage.
Physiotherapist Gerard Healy, so he should know. Let's hope it's only a minor injury, because he has had some knee problems before. Lyon with the hand pass. On to Blakey now at midfield. Blakey goes for goal. Oh, Roos got 2 hands to it. Could have nearly dragged in a miraculous mark. Things becoming pretty slippery now. Baldwin again. Can he make amends? He missed the last one. And that's shaved the post. 1 behind. So a point to the Lions, taking their tally to 79. 12-7 to 20-13.
Just shows, Peter, that lack of confidence I was talking about. Paul Roos there would have swallowed that normally, and yet just dropped that chest mark. An easy chest mark for him.
Scholl drops another. In terms of the game overall, not necessarily him. He's had a pretty good night. The ball's out of bounds. The defensive side of centre wing for North, who lead big now, 2013 to 12-7. And the running players of North Melbourne have put their stamp on this game. The longer it's gone. Boundary throw in. Gallagher and Ironmonger. Gallagher gets it down. Schwass has got the run of it. High hand pass. Larkin rolled around on his head. Off to German. His 26th possession. The average is 27 a game. 12th best in the competition. Ramiro towards half forward. Carey missed it. Stopped well by Smith. And he knocked it out. Spargo goes off the ground. Down towards the pocket. Fairley's in front. Caven is with him. In goes Wine. He was kicked unintentionally while he was on the ground, but he's going to get a free kick. I suppose that's fair enough.
Well, a kick in the head, surely, Dennis. That's earning a free kick. Come on.
I'm not sure the ball was in the area, though.
Does it matter?
Well, it was just a pack situation, I would have thought. Ball on the outer side. Lyons got it. Plays on. Advantage paid. Kicks towards centre half forward. Lynch missed it. Runs free behind. Storitsky liked his game. Hoisted high towards centre wing. Stevens battling with McCarthy. Ward has done some good things on the ground now and again too. Spent quite a bit of time on the bench. Stevens, hurried kick towards half forward. Sliding in. Noble takes the mark. Back to McGrath, who runs to 50. Kicks towards the pocket. Wielden will mark it. He doesn't mess around. He can really take a mark, this young fella.
Yes, he's kicked 5 goals, Darren Wielden. Provided a target for the players once they have had the opportunity. That's probably about the first time they've got the ball easy into the forward line. And Michael Martin certainly making Darren Wielden earn that mark.
Wielden kicking at his 6th. And he's missed. He'd make a good professional wrestler, Michael Martin, wouldn't he? He's got all the moves.
Quite sure they're all legal out there, Dennis.
Just a player, what, 20 count or something? Like that hold, Martin.
Allison. Larkin. Oh, that's holding the ball, Matthew Larkin. No, he caught play on.
No, it is a free kick. Free kick paid, Pete. Yes, sloppy play there by Matthew Larkin. He had plenty of time to get rid of that one.
The juggle, not good enough. Dundas, quick to read the play, but he's put it through for only a behind. A further point to Fitzroy. 12-13 to 12-9. 2013 to 12-9. It's John Longmire. That knee now bandaged, as you can see, just testing it out. Interesting to see what happens when it cools down a little bit. I dare say the ice pack could be on. What's happening here?
Yeah, the ball looks like it's gone flat, Pete. So the umpire calling for another ball.
And here it comes rather quickly.
Interesting to take a look at the figures on Matt Dundas. 18 kicks, and he spent the best part of, what, a quarter and a bit on the bench.
Well, how often do you see that, though? 18 kicks and not one hand pass. Not very often you'd see a player with those stats.
The huddle, then they break quickly. Allison decides to go to the outer side. Kicks it straight to Big John Ironmonger, so that wasn't a really well-directed kick. I like the big fellow's game tonight. He's a goer. Oh, Elliott was the flyer. That's a goal. Kick by Dundas. Well, yet another kick. And what do we put his tally down to? 16, 17? 19 it is now. And Brayshaw, the last to get up. I don't think he's too happy, but he is a little sore.
Yes, a big pack of players flying for that mark. The kick in taken, a good strong mark by John Ironmonger. As Peter said, he has played well. He's put his body in and contested every issue. A big pack flying there, and Brayshaw was hit by his teammate.
46 points the difference. As Fitzroy continued to struggle on. McGrath to his own advantage. No, he left it. Harding feeds it across to Lyon. Lyon boots it down towards the attacking 50. Sean Smith put his hand in initially, did well, went back and got it, then gave it to Martin. The best and fairest in 89 for North, sends it towards centre wing. Ironmonger over the top. Spargo, he's come back brilliantly to league football. Lays it off for Larkin, who runs down towards half forward, drew a man. Sliding over was Carey, kept his poise well. Back to Larkin, to Rock. Rock 45 metres from goal. Now he can settle and kick another one. He has. He's fourth. Terrific football.
There's terrific use of the handball there. North Melbourne 21-13, 139. Fitzroy 13-9, 87. But the use of the handball there to get out of trouble was excellent. A couple of sloppy hand passes. The final handball to Anthony Rock was good. Put him in the position where he could run into the open goal.
And good to see the police have arrested that ratbag who just jumped onto the ground. There should be more of it.
Oh.
What, more ratbags or more arrests?
More arrests. Sick of those lunatics. 21-13 to 13-9.
Well, don't sit on the fence. What do you think?
Say what you really think. Is that what you mean? John Ironmonger, the veteran, but he's played well tonight. Martin in front. Back-up support from Angus, who kicks past Peter German. Wind. A real game little effort from him. Centering kick trying for Osborne, and Osborne doesn't let him down. Could have been close to 50. Shaw gave him a little bit of a shove. Wielden calling for it. Osborne too far out to score, I would suggest. Tries the torpedo. Angus in front. Elliott. Mark to Dundas. Is that far enough? I think it is.
Yes, well done by Elliott to keep the ball in play. Just a centering kick there. Nothing much else he could do. He had very little chance of kicking a goal, so the centering kick the only option.
Dundas, point-blank range, has kicked his second in 3 minutes. So adding a little bit of respectability to Fitzroy's score, they still might get the ton. 14-9 to 21-13.
Well, Dundas has kicked 2 goals, 1 all coming in this final term. Lynch, who's been moved away from full-back since Longmire's gone off the ground. But Fitzroy, a little bit happening for them in the last quarter without ever looking a threat.
Much better performance than last week from Fitzroy. Dundas' second goal, both kicked in this last quarter. 5 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the game. Chandler. Long looping hand pass to Peter German. North Melbourne players running aplenty. He could just about kick a goal from there. Right on 50. Unloads with a long bomb, but has missed to the near side and scores only 1 behind. Gerard Healy, more injuries. What's happening?
Yes, well, Justin Staritsky's come off with a strained right thigh, and he's been replaced by David Dwyer, who's also been on the bench with hamstring and back problems.
Paxman kicks the ball in and kicks to the outer side.
Lynch. And his hands to it. He was punched away. This is Romero. Close to the boundary line in the left full forward pocket. He sized it up pretty well. He was looking back towards the middle. There was nothing on, so eventually decided to go goalward on the bounce and just missed. 21-15, 14-9. Robert Shaw. In the shadows there. Dark night and what could be a dark season. Dundas goes short. Ironmonger plays on immediately to Lyon. Lyon kicks inside the attacking 50. Smith went back with courage, fisted away. Noble slipped over. A lot of that tonight. Wielden back to Lyon, who initiated the move from 40 metres out. Was missed to the left-hand side. Fitzroy tackled the Sydney Swans in round 8. North Melbourne go to Cardinia Park. Big game for them. So far this season they've beaten Sydney, Brisbane and Fitzroy, so North with some work to do. No impressive scalps there. Towards centre wing, Stevens missed it. Wind waiting behind. Off the ball, Rock was hit hard. Wind on his knees to Lyon. Gains about 10 metres. Spargo left it behind. Stevens goes off the ground. This is Larkin. He's been industrious tonight too. Storming through the middle, Larkin. His 25th possession finds Carey. Carey into space on the lead fairly. Not a particularly good kick though. He had to hesitate. And this ball just inside the field of play. Caven takes it across the line and they decide that was fair enough.
3 minutes 20 left in this match. Ironmonger and Carey. Now it's going to be Gallagher ultimately. Baldwin kicks across his body up towards centre wing, and Lynch. Osborne, if he can get clear, and he can. The captain's kicked just wide of the centre circle. and Allison to take a well-judged mark in front of John Blakey. As for the hand pass, Spargo, his name out right at the first try there, so that's a plus. McCarthy from centre field. Roos chips in front of his teammate Baldwin, and transfers play out wide. He's got Terry Board out there. John Ironmonger running for him. Paxman. McGrath. He's looked better the further the game has gone. That's a well-directed kick, and he could get his 6th goal, Wilden.
Which would be a very good performance tonight too, Peter.
Oh, geez, Mark Wellburney, hasn't he?
In a losing side. Yes, it's been a good performance, as I said, from this bloke. He moves around all the time and provides a good target.
Nice to have a target up there to kick to, so that is a real plus for Fitzroy to come out of this game. He's kicked inaccurately there and is very unhappy with himself, but 5 goals tonight out of 14-11, a pretty good effort. 95 to 141. Allison will kick in again. Under 2 minutes left in this match. North Melbourne leading at every change, and they have come out of it with a pretty good percentage booster. Schwass knocked away by Stevens. Noble almost grabbed when not in possession. Wind back to Dundas, certainly one of Fitzroy's best.
Short to Blakey. So the clock running down. Lyon knocked away by Spargo, taken by Scholl. Was he held without it? Not according to the umpire. Opportunity for Broderick. Pulls it back, looks good. No, Allison gets back and forces a behind. Paul Spargo, good spoil in that last exchange. He's had a very good night tonight. 32 possessions, 3 marks, 15 kicks, 17 hand passes. That's busy. Allison finds Scholl. 21-15 to 14-12. Scholl, not a good kick around the outer side. Noble's got it now, almost slipped over. As he was doing so, he got it to Osborne. Osborne around the outer side. Interesting bouncing style, but it's pretty spongy and damp out there. The kick is not a good finish. And a couple of players down in the square indicating it should have been centred. Richard Osborne. 41 seconds remaining, and the clock continuing to run. 21-15 to 14-13. The kick in. Larkin has done well. Good evasion at half-back. Has set things up with his hand passing tonight. Martin away to Schwass, who's got pace. On centre wing, a penetrating kick down towards full forward. Fairly on the lead. Carey's got it now. Over the top, intended for Rock. Wind and Rock battling back after it. Still they go. Rock claiming he was legged. Paxman gets it out of bounds, and we'll have a throw in. So we're down to 10 seconds, and North will chalk up their 3rd victory of the season, and their record will be 3-3. Fitzroy remain winless. There's the siren. 21-15 to 14-13. North Melbourne big winners. Well, the application from Fitzroy tonight, something I think everybody came down to look at, couldn't be questioned. A couple of their senior players didn't fire up, but we've talked about the responsibilities resting heavy on their shoulders. Paul Spargo, outstanding, a man who thwarted their best efforts. In earnest conversation there with Ross Lyon. That's good to see. John Longmire, 8 goals, spent most of the last quarter off the ground, still hobbling there, and we heard about his knee, so hopefully he'll be right for next weekend. Darren Wheeldon, certainly the most dangerous forward Fitzroy had. He's a player of the future who finished tonight with 5 goals. Wayne Schimmelbusch would be happy. North Melbourne have won it at the MCG, 21-15 to 14-13.
Pretty even 4 quarters by North Melbourne. They kicked 5, 6, 5 and 5 goals. And for Fitzroy, well, we could say likewise because they booted 4, 3, 4 and 3. 44 points to the Roos, the margin. Longmire finished up with 8 goals. Rock got 4, Ramiro 3 and Smith 2 with Carey also 2. And for Fitzroy, Wielden was their major contributor. He got 5 and Harding kicked 2 goals and so too did Dundas. North Melbourne winners over Fitzroy, but I think, gentlemen, a much better effort by Fitzroy than we saw last week at North Hobart.
Well, I suppose that was the key tonight coming in, Bernie. They were under the microscope as a club, Fitzroy. How did you think they came out of it?
Well, at least they had a go tonight, didn't they?
Is that enough? I mean, is that enough?
It's not enough. They are undermanned at the moment. I'm very disappointed with the games of a couple of their supposed stars, Paul Roos and Richard Osborne. Very quiet tonight. They're the players that they need to show them the way. They didn't tonight. I thought Johnny Ironmonger was inspirational in the centre. He rucked very well all night. He really gave it his best shot. But you look at the players, physically they look undermanned. The size of the players, some of the players just look weak physically up top. North Melbourne had the runners. They had the good players across the centre of the ground. Paul Spargo played very well. It was a good contest actually with Rossi Lyon. He put in a good 4-quarter performance as well.
Yes, German Lark and those players picking up possessions around the ground. I suppose the shining light as far as Fitzroy were concerned was Wielden up forward. He does look a player of real class, but you wonder, is he a full forward or more a half-forward flanker type? He's not quite big enough to be a full forward, is he?
Well, I think he proved that he can play there.
Oh, terrific,
I think you're a bit hard there because the way he moves around, he plays as a full forward should. He's not standing around trying to take the big mark. He's on the lead all the time. He gave Michael Martin plenty of headaches tonight.
Don't get me wrong, I like him. I like him.
Well, he's taller than Cuthbertson, isn't he? And he can take a good mark for Melbourne.
I just think at a top side, Wielden wouldn't be cast in the role of a full forward quite yet, though.
Well, probably not. He'd be more the forward pocket type, but with the options Fitzroy have at the moment, they haven't got too many options.
No, we agree within disagreement, don't we? What about these stats?
The stats, well, amazing. 206 kicks each from both sides, and the handballs really told the story. Almost doubled there by North Melbourne over Fitzroy. The running players coming into it in the second half, taking over. They ran the ball well into the forward line. Tackles 18-20, nothing there. Hit-outs 28-34. John Ironmonger well on top early. I thought Gallagher came back into the match in that second half and did quite well.
And you were taking a few notes tonight too, weren't you?
What do you mean?
For Sunday's big game.
I want to know how to run again.
Who are you playing on? Not Wielden, I'm sure.
He's got the liniment on already. I think I can smell it already. OK, we'll take a break. More to come. We'll look at the draw for the rest of the round and the league ladder when we return to the MCG after this break. And welcome back to the MCG. The sound you can, I dare say, hear in the background is not a jet plane, but one of those blowers they use to clean up the rubbish. I think we're stuck with it for the time being. Let's take a look at some of the individual player stats for the night now, and starting off with Jose Romero from North Melbourne.
Yes, a good night. 25 possessions. Started well. In fact, he's been even throughout the evening.
And Matthew Dundas for Fitzroy came on in that second quarter and had very good stats for the rest of the match. A very even performance after starting, as I said, on the interchange bench, but not one handball amongst that. 22 kicks, not one handball.
It's unusual, isn't it? Matthew Larkin, 25 possessions. And by contrast to Dundas, quite prepared to lay it off, as you can see, 13 hand passes.
Jimmy Wine, I thought, was Fitzroy's best player. He's a real goer, battles hard all night, usually picks up the Rovers when they rest in the forward pocket. 21 kicks, 6 handballs, and never stopped trying.
Anthony Rock, 19 and 9, as you can see, and this was the story really of tonight's game. The players were showing from North on-ball players, and their run through midfield was the difference between these two sides.
Darren Wielden, who played, I thought, very well at full forward. He's kicked 5 goals, 4 behinds and 1 out of bounds, so 10 shots at full forward. I thought he beat Michael Martin.
Time now to check the CUB AFL 1991 Premiership Season League ladder.
And taking a look at the ladder now and the position of North Melbourne. And North Melbourne with their win tonight. Very slow start to the season, and they're still in touch with the top 6. And of course Fitzroy down the bottom, yet to break their duck. The remainder of the round, well, it really is one right out of the box. 4 matches sit down for decision tomorrow, and the top 3, they really stand out, don't they? Hawthorn on the west coast at Princes Park. Essendon to play Carlton out at Waverley. That'll attract the biggest crowd of the round, I would suggest. And Kilda and Adelaide down at Moorabbin. Won't be too easy for the Crows there. It's never easy to win at Moorabbin. And Melbourne to play Brisbane at the MCG. On Sunday, 2 further games, Sydney and Geelong at the SCG, and Fitzroy and Richmond. Collingwood has the bye this week. Gentlemen, let's get your thoughts on them. 3 great matches. First of all, Hawthorn on the west coast. I'll leave you out of this, Dennis, initially. Bernie?
Well, I think West Coast form has been flawless right from the word go this year, and Hawthorn, there's a few question marks about them, I think, Dennis.
Well, Ruck, yeah,
for one. Centre-half back, Chris Mewes back there at centre-half back, but his fitness must be in doubt, and I'm going for the West Coast Eagles, and they must be early favourites for the flag.
Well, I'll go the other way. I think Hawthorn will win this game. I just think that it's a danger game as far as the Eagles are concerned. The key to this game is the fitness of Jason Dunstall. If he's okay on the smaller ground, because the Eagles are coming off some hit-outs at particularly VFL Park and Subiaco Oval, coming back to Princes Park, I think if they're going to drop one, this could be the one.
You're just trying to show that you're not parochial, aren't you?
Absolutely.
Hope you can go home. Gerard Healy?
Yes, well, I think the West Coast have shown that they're a top quality side this year, and I believe one of the key battles will be Jarman on Turley. I think Turley's been in sensational form. Obviously, we don't know who he's going to pick up, but he would be the player I'd be tagging, and the result of that duel will also go a long way to deciding the outcome of the game. So for mine, it's the West Coast.
Essendon and Carlton, the big crowd, certain to be out at Waverley. Bernie?
Yes, well, this is an interesting match, this one. Carlton very good last week against St Kilda, and Essendon did just enough to win up at Brisbane, Dennis, and I think that maybe with a little bit of a doubt about Silvani's fitness, that Essendon will have the numbers and the manpower on the forward line to get away with this one.
Well, it's hard to get a line on Essendon this season, isn't it? Because they haven't beaten anybody so far. They're 5 and zip, but when you look at the sides they've played, probably Carlton is the toughest, and we're not sure how good Carlton is. I think Essendon will win, but don't be surprised if Carlton beat them tomorrow.
Gerard, what are your thoughts on that one?
I think the big man strength of Essendon will tell in this game, and in a very tight tussle, I believe Carlton will get up for the Essendon will get up for the points.
Well, the other big one, as I mentioned, down at Moorabbin, always hard to win down there. The Saints at home can be pretty tough opposition. Bernie?
Yes, especially with Tony Lockett back at full forward, Pete, and Nicky Winmar into the side. I don't think St Kilda will be easy, especially down at Moorabbin, as you said. I'm tipping St Kilda to win this one. Adelaide have never ventured to the Moorabbin ground, and I think it will be a new experience for them, and maybe just a little bit too tough for them to pull the points out.
But the Crows will be better with Scott Hodges back in their team. I mean, they looked better last week with a couple of forwards firing. Hodges a class forward, so obviously they're a chance, but St Kilda for me too.
Gerard, down at Moorabbin, always hard to win?
Yes, a difficult ground under any circumstances, and with Lockett and Winmar back in the side, I'd have to tip St Kilda. But going on about Hodges, I still believe he is yet to prove his stripes or win his stripes in the AFL. He had one good game against the Swans, but really that's not enough yet to consider him a top-class forward.
But probably still their best prospect up at forward. The other game, of course, tomorrow is between Brisbane and Melbourne, and 2 further games to complete the round on Sunday. Sunday, Sydney and Geelong, and Fitzroy and Richmond. Collingwood has the bye this week. And that takes us out from the MCG tonight. The first match of round 7. North Melbourne victorious by 44 points, 21-15 to 14-13. We hope you've enjoyed our coverage tonight. Certainly a cool night in Melbourne. It did get pretty slippery there in the last quarter. And don't forget, across the network, the first 2 singles matches in the quarter-final of the Davis Cup, Australia versus France. From the MCG, a very good night to you all.
In the middle of a large field, an umpire stands. He's got a ball raised up in the air. He's waiting for a siren to ring. In the streets of any suburb, in any country town in Australia, little children are dreaming the very same thing. It's an obsession. Football. Australia's national game. Let's play football. It's an obsession. Football. Let's play football. At the end of a season, a captain stands with a cup raised in the air. The winner of Australia's national game. Put your feet up. Let's play football. Try and relax. Football. It's football time.